Hello and welcome to Media Made, the show in which we, year by year, explore the movies, music, and TV that most invaded our lives. I am your host, Knight of the Table Round, Rod, and I'm joined by...
Historically accurate, Jess.
Nice. And here we are, together, to talk about music of 1995.
Woot woot.
If you are new to the show, let me explain the premise. Jess and I have gone through a list of every music album released in the year 1995, and we've decided which one each of us have heard the most, right?
Yeah.
Or heard the most songs from.
Yes,
yeah.
That's usually what it is, for me at least.
In my case, it is the album that I've heard the most start to finish, right?
Right.
There are other albums that move, like runners-up, that I've also heard like the most of, right? But I never listened to the album start to finish. The way my album is constructed, it kind of, it encourages listening from start to finish. And we'll explain that in a little bit. Because it's a
No, it encourages it.
Yes. I mean, back in 1995, you didn't really have a choice. There were no MP3s.
That's fair.
And I don't think this guy was releasing singles.
That's fair. And you couldn't pop in it. Well, I mean, you could have popped in a CD and hit shuffle, but
Yeah. I guess there were CDs in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean you guess?
We had VH, or not
Sir.
VH, we had cassette tapes in my household until like 2002 or something.
We still have cassette tapes in my mom's household.
Yeah, and so we do this for music today, but we also do shows for movies and TV, so look out for that as well. But I guess we're going to start with my album of 1995, since we're on the subject. Released October 27th, 1995, the debut rock opera concept album by this ambitious progressive metal project. That is The Final Experiment by Ayreon.
This is the voice of Merlin. Listen well, for it concerns you. This chronicle commences in the year 2084 AD. Mankind has virtually destroyed itself. Its survival depends on the final experiment. Scientists from the 21st century have developed a new computer program called time telepathy. By using this technique, they have sent visions of humanity's decline back in time. These transmissions have been received by the mind of a blind minstrel who lives in 6th century Britain. His name is Ayreon.
Ayreon.
Ayreon?
It's like it depends on how you say it. It's like it depends. Ayreon or Ayreon?
I've always said Ayreon.
Ayreon. Yeah, that's a whole lot of gobbledygook.
Dweeb.
So yeah.
So mean.
I'm sure normally when I introduce an album, I hit play on a popular track to get us in the mood. I was like, no, I need to play the prologue to explain what we're getting into here.
There's a prologue.
Yep, that song was called. It's called Prologue, right? And the movement at the beginning was called The Time Telepathy Experiment.
Gosh. TTE.
So, yep, that's what we're talking about. This is, of all of my albums talked about so far, this is the most niche, the most cult album that we were going to have talked about so far in Media Made. Okay?
I will not disagree with that
It is
statement.
the least mainstream album, okay? That I think, like, as we go through this show, the point is it reveals to us, like, elements of ourselves, right? Like,
Right.
We're talking about what built our taste. And, like, my taste is weird, conceptual albums.
You're not wrong. That is definitely a definition.
Yeah, so before I talk about why Ayreon is my album, except for I like weird albums, have you
No.
heard...
Don't even finish the question. No.
What were your impressions the first time you heard it?
This would have been a deal breaker had I known about it beforehand.
No.
It's just weird. I don't know. It's just weird. I was like, this is music for someone, and I found that someone.
Science fiction mixed with Arthurian legend didn't do it for you?
No. I'd rather listen to an audio drama.
It kind of is with singing. Anyway, let me explain how I even stumbled upon this. So, back in college, I frequented the Dream Theater forum, right? There's a whole forum, fan forum. There's this thing I did, because Dream Theater, as we've talked about, is my favorite band of all time. We've talked about 3 of their albums so far, so check out our 89, 92, and 94 music episodes if you want to know about Dream Theater. But I'm on the forum, and there was a thread about, like, what was James LaBrie, the singer, what was his highest note, right? Highest recorded note, right? And we talked about his high note in the song Learning to Live, right? Mm-hmm. This one. That's a pretty high note, right? For a lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, that's the highest note, right? And then someone was like, no, have you heard the high note he hits on this Ayreon album? Because he was a guest singer on an Ayreon album in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, whatever. And it goes like this.
What?
So they someone linked to that song on a YouTube video for that song, and I was like, what is this? So I'm listening to it, and it's clear that it's a story because James LaBrie is singing in character, like the speaker has gone through a great ordeal, and that was the last song on the album,
right?
And I was like, what is this? So he's a guest singer on this weird album I've never heard of, this band. So I look into it, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy, the project Ayreon, they only do rock operas. Mm-hmm. It's just rock operas, and they get guest singers from around the music world, bring them in, and have them sing as characters on these rock operas. Okay. Normally, when you do a rock opera, it's like one band and maybe a few singers from the band will play different characters, but a lot of the time it's just like
the band.
The singer plays all the characters,
right?
And you're meant to like interpret, like, oh, who's singing this portion of the song. With Ayreon, he casts people. And he brings them in, and they sing as a character for the whole album, and it's a story. It's like legitimately a music theater project.
Yeah.
But, it's like a metal opera. So I listened to that album that featured LaBrie, and it's pretty good. It's probably their best album, honestly. Like, the best story, the most grounded story. Mm-hmm. There's no weird sci-fi until the end.
Spoilers.
And so I listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. I'll listen to the rest of them. And you find out that all of the rock operas tie into this very expansive lore that they built around themselves, like spanning the creation of the universe
the Ayreon
to
universe.
The end of the world. Yeah, the Ayreon universe.
The Ares musical instead of cinematic universe.
So it's like just like getting into the MCU. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna listen to the Ayreon universe from start to finish. And this is the first Ayreon album. This is the first one, and it's called The Final Experiment.
Okay.
And that's
Was it their first one in like this kind of theme, or was it just their first?
This is the first Ayreon album.
Wow,
okay?
They came out the gate. They're like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So
when I say they, it's he.
Yes.
It's one man.
Yes.
And I will get into that in a second.
And he is a prophet.
Yes. He is Ayreon.
Yes.
He is Ayreon.
Yes. Aaron.
All right.
Aaron.
Here we go. Ayreon Anthony Lucassen. His name is not Ayreon spelled as it is in the band name. Ayreon is spelled Ayreon, right? Mm-hmm. His name is Arjen. He's Dutch. Ayreon.
Got it.
Ayreon Anthony Lucassen was born April 3rd, 1960 in Hilversum, North Holland, Netherlands. As a boy, a love of the Beatles and other contemporary rock and roll groups spurred Lucassen to pick up a guitar and pursue a career in music. In 1980, Lucassen, under the stage name Iron Anthony, joined the Dutch heavy metal band Bodine as a guitarist, or Bodine, not sure. He recorded 2 albums with Bodine before leaving in 1984, feeling that the band and its members were, quote, kind of boring guys.
That's mean.
He's like, he was the youngest guy in the band. He's like, I wanted to party. I wanted to have fun. And
They were like, "That's a lot. That fast living ain't for me, kid."
yeah, and he was just like, their music was very traditional, and I wanted to do something different.
Okay.
Yeah, so he quickly thereafter joined the heavy metal band Vengeance as a guitarist. Over the next 8 years, Vengeance with Lucassen recorded 4 studio albums and reportedly became one of the most successful bands in the Netherlands at the time.
Oh wow.
So they were like the Dutch hair metal superstars. Yeah, like I listened to both Bodine and the Netherlands. Bodine sounded like early Iron Maiden or Saxon, and then Vengeance sounded like the Scorpions, or like other hair metal bands of the time.
Yeah.
You know, so they were definitely of that period. Okay?
Contemporaries.
So they fit in the canon. Vengeance officially disbanded in 1992, leaving Lucassen to pursue a solo career.
Ah.
His first solo album was Pools of Sorrow, Waves of Joy, which was released under the name Anthony in 1993.
That's such an interesting rock band name choice. It's his name.
Anthony.
But that's just, sounds like the magic.
That album was a commercial flop.
Well,
Yeah, it was just too... I listened to a bit of it. It's too all over the place, okay? Because he obviously has a bunch of influences. He loves metal. He loves rock and roll. He loves folk. He loves electronic. He loves it all. But when you put it all in one album that's like 15 tracks long, it's like a whiplash.
That makes
it's like
sense.
too much. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you got to organize yourself a little bit better because this is not going to appeal to people.
yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. They'll like one song because it's the genre they like.
Yeah, so it was like very much a
Mishmash.
mishmash.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah. It wasn't very appetizing, though. Lucassen later said of this period, quote, "It was the period in my life when my girlfriend broke up with me, Vengeance broke up, and I had no more record deal. So it was a horrible time." So he's very depressed. He had nothing else to lose. So he's like, I'm just going to gosh dang it, I'm going to make the music I want to make.
Okay.
I'm going to do this, and it's going to be all me. I don't know. He's like backed into a corner. He fought back.
He was like, if this is my last time to take my shot, I will not throw away
That shot. Inspired by progressive rock albums of the 60s and 70s and rock operas like Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar, The Who's Tommy, and Pink Floyd's The Wall, Lucassen set out to create his own concept album, working in such a way as to develop the album exactly the way he wanted, making no compromises along the way. Which I like. I'm like, yeah, keep that power. It's like, yeah, it's weird. It's like, very corny, but he did it on his own.
Hey, yeah, that's something to be said.
Yeah, apparently the album was partly financed by Ayreon's own father.
Aw.
They sold a house to pay for
Oh.
this album.
Thanks, Dad. I
Yeah.
guess it was easy to believe in him. He had a successful career before.
Yeah. So yeah,
What happened to the money he had before?
he's a blew it. I don't know. Like I feel like musicians don't make that much money. I think like
That's fair,
Or they
especially
do-
if you're under a label.
yeah, and they blow through it and
Oh,
yeah. I think it's a very unstable career to have unless you're like very smart with your money or you hire someone to be smart with your money.
it's someone trustworthy.
Yeah. The album, titled Ayreon, The Final Experiment, with no artist listed, was rejected by several record labels before being picked up by a small Dutch label called Transmission Records in 1995.
Thanks, Trans.
So at the time, the idea was this project has no band name. This is just Ayreon, The Final Experiment.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, who made this album? Oh, it's a mystery.
Or maybe it was Ayreon. Or maybe it was Anthony.
So, yeah, and then later they'll retitle the album The Final Experiment by the band Ayreon.
Got it.
Ayreon is now kind of the project's band name.
Makes
but
sense.
it's mostly just him,
Yep.
Mr. Lucassen.
That's how Panic at the Disco works.
But that is Ayreon.
Hey.
So we're going to jump into this album, and we're gonna try our best to, comb through the story of the album and see how effective it is.
Let's go.
It's a story. It has characters. It has a plot, like legit plot. This isn't ambiguity. This isn't like symbolism. No. This is a straight up story, literal story.
Something you could tell to your children as you put them to sleep.
Yeah. Hey, remember, son, when
This is the
human beings from the year 2480, they sent.
Don't spoil the story for the kids.
All right, so let's jump into it. We're gonna start with the fourth song on the album. It's called "The Banishment." The first three songs, like there are a plot, but it mostly deals with the blind minstrel Ayreon receiving messages from the future.
Right. Yes.
And it's just like, oh wow, what's this?
Oh wow.
So we're gonna start with the fourth song, which is called "The Banishment." So it's also very cinematic, as you can hear, right? Luckily, Ayreon's website has plot synopses of all of these albums, in a very easy to read paragraph format.
Like what would be on the back of the book?
Yes. So here, let me read what's happened so far in the story. The receiver of the telepathic messages is Ayreon, a blind minstrel living in the 6th century Britain. He lived his life in darkness from the day he was born, but one fateful day, everything changes. Ayreon can see images. Oh. The minstrel believes these visions are sent to him by the Lords of Time. Unaware of how much there is left before Earth is destroyed, Ayreon sets out to tell the tale of Earth's demise, singing songs of war, natural disaster, and computer technology. And that's what's happening right now in the story with the banishment.
Ayreon must be banished because he is seeing too much and he's a witch.
Yes. So this song, as in most progressive rock concept albums, like big songs, I don't know, like long songs. We've talked long songs before. Yes. There are multiple movements in the song. Yeah. And they're listed in the track listing on the CD. Okay. So the banishment is comprised of 5 movements. The first 2, titled A New Dawn, which we just heard a little bit of, and The Gathering are instrumentals, okay? So we just heard A New Dawn. It's very film-like. And then The Gathering starts, which is a little different.
A little?
What does that sound like to you?
An oboe?
What's keyboards? But there's
an oboe behind it.
It's very old-timey.
Yeah.
Because
less old-timey now.
Yeah. Well, he'll get there a little bit when the guitar starts up again. But the idea was they're trying to place the viewer in 6th century Britain.
Right.
In medieval times. So you gotta have, your music sound like old-timey, like trumpet playing. Mm-hmm. The king's arrived. Or let us go to the town square and hear the blind minstrel sing for us.
The crier has something to say.
Yes. So you can hear a little bit of it now. The guitar has taken on that sound. Mm-hmm. So that type of music is actually called neoclassical. Mm-hmm. Okay, neoclassical was very popular in metal music, like types of metal music, right? Like niche subgenres of metal. Neoclassical had a home there. Okay. Especially in Europe.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yngwie Malmsteen. Have you ever heard of that guy?
No.
He was a guitar virtuoso. He's like one of the best guitar players ever. Okay. Right? But he's very I think he's underrated because he plays neoclassical metal, which is he's writing basically he's taking classical music principles and basically just shredding his electric guitar to it.
That sounds fun.
He's it's really good. It's like you listen to him, it's blowing your mind. Wow, this guy, how can he play that fast? How can he play that those arpeggios with such grace? I don't know. So that is what that sound was. So obviously if you're gonna set your musical story in 6th century Britain in medieval times, why not throw in some neoclassical, especially if it's a metal album?
Yeah.
Just have your shredding metal guitar play music that sounds like it's from the age.
Makes sense to me.
Ayreon Lucasen recorded vocals, guitar, bass, keyboard, synthesizer, drums, percussion, timpani, and did all the audio mixing for the final experiment.
Dang.
This is mostly just him as far as the music goes.
So I was going to say, because it's his first album as Ayreon, under the Ayreon project, and his last-ditched effort, he doesn't have any like guest vocals on this. It's all him.
No, there are guest vocals.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like most of the guests are his friends who are doing the characters on the album.
Right.
But all the music is mostly just him.
Okay.
Which carries on to a lot of the Ayreon releases. Like, he does a lot of the music himself.
How does he do that in live? Like,
he doesn't. He hires studio.
That makes sense.
Or like, a touring band to help him.
Yep, that makes sense. That's what I would do.
So let's move into movement 3, which is called The Accusation. Here's when the singing starts and we get, multiple characters having, sort of like a dialogue.
Sounds like Pokemon music. Like I'm just walking down Trail 3. No more Pokemon.
Sounds like definitely some 70s progressive rock.
Yeah.
So that is the character, and they were listed in the album booklet. Who is singing? Those are the characters of the Villagers, and they're singing about how weird Ayreon is. Like, who's this weirdo?
Looking at the sky. Have you heard the things he's been saying? Ugh.
Yep. And then Ayreon, you can hear Ayreon a little bit, is the female chorus in between the singer of this song. Mm-hmm. So Ayreon is like repeating, "What have I done?" Because Ayreon's in this song, he's being accused by the Villagers of being a witch, being weird, blasphemy.
Rule number 1 of Witch Club: keep your premonitions to yourself.
Or only the people you trust.
No! Keep your premonitions to yourself.
But that would mean the experiment was a failure. If
save yourself.
So technically, okay, so the Villagers are played by singer Robert Soderboek. Soderboek?
It's a good name.
A longtime friend and collaborator of Ayreon Lucasen. Ayreon is played by a chorus comprised of female vocalists Lucy Hillen, Debbie Schroeder, and Miriam Van Doom.
Van Doom.
Yeah. So anything you want to say about the lyrics of the accusation, I guess?
I want to say in my lyrics that I have, where the movements are, right? Like, so the first movement, A New Dawn, and then Bee Gathering and stuff. Mine has like subtitles there that aren't like necessarily. I didn't hear them being said. So like, A New Dawn says, "A perceptible tension is hovering above Ayreon's hometown. Something is at hand."
Maybe that was in the booklet. Like, you're supposed to be reading along with the booklet as you listen to the album.
I mean, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So that's what it says in the first movement, which especially the last part, it's hovering above Ayreon's hometown. Something is at hand. It just made me think of Homestuck. So I just wrote that down.
Yeah. It's such an active experience when you have to listen to this album. I feel like with progressive rock concept albums, like, they expect you to engage with the album in a more active way. Don't be passive with this. Right?
We are progressive. You need to be action.
Yeah, it's like, this is music you need to engage in. You can't just put it on at a party and just be like, oh yeah, it sets a mood, right? No. This
you
is
really can't.
You got to listen to this. You got to either like sit in your armchair with the booklet and read along, or
with brandy in one hand and a cigar in the other.
Yeah, or you turn out all the lights, you put your headphones on, and you close your eyes and just let the story like play out in your mind.
Yeah. It's supposed to be an experience.
Yeah, I think.
No, I was gonna say read the other parts of like the gathering and the accusation if you wanted, but
No, go ahead.
okay. The gathering like portion says what you would expect. The townspeople gather on the market square to judge of Ayreon. Is he a prophet or a charlatan, or even worse, an apparition most unholy?
So the lyrics definitely point to those things happening. Like,
yes.
It's like, should he be condemned for he doesn't belong?
This is why. First rule of Witch Club. The accusation, it says, the villagers accuse Ayreon of being the devil's spawn, but Ayreon persists in his innocence. And then we get to, as it is the accusation, the villagers yelling.
And they tell him, you've betrayed your own, now you have to pay. You have to pay.
You have to pay. There was one line in this portion that the villager said, you arouse the forces of destruction. And I just wrote a note, which is what it is. Like, the issue is that he's different, right? Like,
yeah.
You have aroused the forces of destructions by being different, by being not part of the status quo. You are not just weird, you frighten us with how unsane you are.
I was like, I feel like that would have happened in all of history. You know, it's like as recently as like 2016, people are frightened by things they don't understand or things that are different.
Yeah.
It's like, how did the people sending these telepathies back in time not realize maybe sending it to the 6th century Britain was a bad idea?
Yeah, you have all of human course, but maybe that was like, this is the only time that it would be received. This is the only time that there was someone who could be pinged by our magical sciences.
Maybe they didn't know. It was just like, they're just sending it out into the airwaves into this past, and it's like,
whoever gets it.
Yep. Such bad luck. It got into a blind minstrel in 6th century Britain. One of the most like
historically unlistened to.
Yeah, like one of the most intolerant times.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah. If they see something that they deem as too different, well, he's obviously possessed by the devil. He's obviously against Christ.
There is no other
He needs to be killed and burned or banished. Banished.
I've got to be banished.
That's what happens. The fourth movement is called the banishment. Like, and it's, it's basically, it's an instrumental, and you heard a little bit underneath us talking, but it's basically, a very hectic metal type instrumental song, and I assume it's like, playing out the action of the townspeople, like dragging poor Ayreon through the street. It's like, get out of our town, you witch.
Yeah, the caption is, with sticks and torches in hand, the angry villagers drive Ayreon out of their Dimson town.
It's like, at least they didn't kill him. Or they didn't crucify him right there.
Well,
or burn him at the stake.
I mean, that's fair, but wouldn't it be nicer to have a quick death than to be pushed out to a place where you probably couldn't feed yourself, and that's just a slow death?
Yeah, especially if you're blind. Like,
yeah.
It was a death sentence already. Like, oh yeah, this blind man out in the woods is just going to get mauled by a bear.
There's not much you could do to...
He's going to fall off a cliff.
Oh no. I don't know the land here.
Yes.
Good. Oh, no. Well, okay, so the next movement is Oblivion.
Before we get into that final movement with Oblivion, I want to do what I've been doing the last few music episodes, especially for my stuff, because Ayreon is just so out there, right? Ayreon is a bubble of its own. It's its own little island in music, right?
Right.
I'm going to talk about the state of metal in 1995, okay? Or like give you an idea of what was going on in the mainstream. Now, okay. Ayreon is Dutch, right? It comes from Holland. So we're going to talk about where metal was in Europe, okay? Two of the biggest metal subgenres in the early 90s, especially late 80s to early 90s, right? The peak around about 1992-93 was Norwegian black metal and Swedish death metal.
The sweet spot of metal.
Now, I don't know a lot about this subculture. I've dabbled in it, I tend to like death metal more than black metal.
Racist.
They're
necromancer.
It's like, people are like, what's the difference? Like, yeah, there's actually quite a difference. And in fact, I think like even back in the day, there was a strong rivalry between the two genres. It's like, this nationalistic pride of both, because, the Norways and the Swedes, they were like, our metal's the hardest metal, right? Because they're both extreme subgenres of metal.
Right.
Death metal was more growls, right? Like
I didn't expect that sound. I blinked and suddenly there was banish ye, you what did we call Ayreon? You have a rose destruction in me.
And then black metal was more shrieking, like I'm thinking like I can't do it. I can't even do it.
Like a little lamb.
No, King Diamond, Merciful Fate, like they were death metal.
Okay.
No, they were black metal.
Ooh.
I'm so confused.
Ooh, and who said they weren't the same?
Black metal is much like it sounds a little bit more like shrieking, right? So I'm thinking King Diamond, Merciful Fate, and then those are older ones, but like there's a bunch of
right.
It's all like for them it was like basically taking the formula of heavy metal, thrash metal, basically making it. I don't know, like taking it a step further, like infusing it with like scary imagery. It was a wild time. You read about Norwegian black metal, right? Swedish death metal. You hear about this stuff, and it's like, oh, wow! There were like murders and suicides and church burnings and like fights in the street. Yeah, it was like crazy stuff going on. Yeah, so. These subcultures in metal like gained a infamy because it's like, yeah, they're writing scary music, but they are scary people.
They are the most dangerous bands.
Yeah, satanic death metal, or
was it satanic?
Satanic
black.
That
just what it was labeled as.
No, like it gained that reputation for a reason because like black metal bands of the time were like, yeah, no, we are legitimate Satanists.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway. Ayreon is not that per se, but by 1995, the death metal scene, the black metal scene had like spread across Europe. Okay, so obviously Ayreon is like drawing from many different influences. We heard neoclassical, we heard folk, we heard just progressive rock, progressive metal stuff. He's obviously also, because it's like so popular, he's going to bring in some of that death metal sound, and that's what happens in that movement.
The Oblivion?
Yes. So this is the end of that instrumental portion. You hear some like, progressive rock shredding, just some crazy stuff on his keyboard and his guitar. And then it'll take a shift here in a second.
Don't like it.
So that is definitely some death metal growling right there. Grunting. The Ayreon, the character who is doing the growling, right? He is played by singer bassist Jan Chris de Koyer of the Dutch death metal band Gorefest. Gorefest.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ayreon, the man, he brought in like a legit death metal guy to do the death metal portion.
Yeah.
I was reading that like Ayreon just like didn't even have a melody for the vocals. Like I think he had some lyrics and he's like, "Hey,
do it however you want."
Do it however you want. He's like, "Okay."
I'll build the music around it.
So, I don't necessarily like this particular sound, like, of this song, right? I've heard better death metal songs than this, I like Opeth, for example.
Right.
This is just a little too, this one's not as pleasant to me, I guess. I don't know. I saw your eyes widen when the death metal growl started. You're like,
Well, my brain was like, well, Ayreon, if this is how you were telling your prophecies in the town square, I can understand why they pushed you out with sticks and torches.
It does come out of nowhere, and it almost like makes it seem like, yeah, Ayreon is evil.
Yeah, and also like I think it's strange just because the caption, I know that's not the word, the subtitle for the Oblivion section.
The flavor text.
The flavor text.
In D&D terms.
Yes.
This album is just a D&D album.
Yes.
It's a D&D campaign as a musical.
Can you just make this a campaign and
every
new movement just use a different song?
That would be funny.
But the flavor text is black licorice here, and it says, completely exhausted, Ayreon roams through the forest. Only an indistinct sense of accomplishment sustains him. And so I think that flavor text is weird. So like the growling there with that being the text is like off.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think what they're trying to do is say Ayreon is he's distraught. Like he's in pain. He's like, I have nothing. He's exhausted. He's hungry. And he's like, I have nothing left. I've been damned. I've been condemned.
But he has an indistinct sense of accomplishment. So I guess he was meant to be thrown out of that place.
Well, I mean, he didn't accomplish his goal because the town didn't believe his prophecies.
That's why the flavor text is weird.
It is weird, but I think it's a little the growling. It doesn't quite convey what the story is supposed to show, because it's supposed to be him in pain. Like, he's supposed to be sad.
Yeah.
Not angry. Maybe he's
at least worried.
Yeah. Whereas this makes it seem like he's like, I'm going to get revenge on those townspeople.
Those kids and their dog, too.
They want the devil. I'll give them the devil.
That's what it feels like.
But it's not that.
That being said, so the last portion of this movement where Ayreon is speaking, I guess this is what is I can't hear the words, right? Like, because
I couldn't either. I pulled him up as well.
So it is him saying, if I've died, then like it's that portion. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So in that, like, one of the lyrics in this portion says, "A force within dominates my tormented soul and empowers me to regain absolute control." And I wrote down the notion that we become the thing people fear, not because we are destined for it, but because people treat us as if it is already true. So I think that, like, that line made me think about, and especially now hearing it again, realizing like that's what he's saying in that death growl.
Yeah,
is this kind of idea that if people have already decided like this is what you are, because, well, of course, like, that's what they're going to be. They were set up like this. Like, just even if he hadn't been, because if he hadn't broken the first rule of Witch Club, and had just been a blind minstrel, he would have been set up, oh, that poor soul, he can never do anything for himself. He can't, because this is what people have projected on you and is the truth, whether it's not. And so you wouldn't be able to, like, if you, even as a blind person, like, I can hold a job. I can do, like, these things. Not me as a blind person, but I mean people who are blind.
People were ready to call him devil-possessed already.
Yeah, like, your sin has made you blind. You must have, your sin before your birth. Like, things like that people already label. So it's hard to break out of that mold, and it becomes a fulfilled prophecy just because of how people treat you. And so that's what this portion made me think, like, no, we're banishing you. You're definitely demon seed. And so he's like, well.
Well, I would think in storytelling terms, it's like, Ayreon's the babyface in wrestling parlance. Mm-hmm. Like, he's the good guy, and he's getting beaten down, so you're expecting him to, like, come back and triumph. It's like, this album, no, man, he gets kicked around the whole time. The whole time. Like, he never gets a win. He never. So it's like this ending here makes it seem like he's proclaiming to the world that he will be triumph. The thing you fear. He will rise up. But it's like, no, it's like, honestly, like, nope, he's a sad sack.
Oh no.
Like, the lyrics make it seem like it's a sad sack. It's like the lyrics tell one story and the vocals tell a different story.
Yeah.
It's like, I have died. Then this must be hell. If I am alive, I cannot break this gruesome spell. I am seeking relief and finding none. I have fallen into oblivion. Almost seems like he's just giving up.
Yeah. But then the next thing feels like he's like pulling himself back out, right?
Okay,
like it said, a force within dominates my tormented soul and empowers me to regain absolute control. I shall not yield, for I am the chosen one who shall rise from oblivion.
Okay.
So, like, you know, like falling down into that place and then being like, nope.
Fair enough. And
but it's still like...
Yeah. You expect him to triumph now. It's like, here's the proclamation. He's going to fulfill himself by the end of the story. It's like, Ayreon's got this. We're going to root for him.
He will.
No.
Don't ruin the story.
So we're going to move on to the next song. Very next song on the album. It's called Ye Courtyard Minstrel Boy.
I did not like this song.
I didn't either. It's like this old-timey freaking bard-like song. It's the worst. This song, I had like, I listened to this album a few times, you know, from start to finish to get the story or whatever. But like over time, I was like, this song sucks. And I took it off my phone. This song features but one speaker, an English nobleman, played by singer Ian Perry, who was Vengeance's second singer.
Ah.
Okay, this is one of Ayreon's old Vengeance buddies. Lucasson specifically said, quote, "Because Ian is British, I asked him to write his own lyrics for Ayreon a few times, especially when it was Old English." So this song was all written by Ian Perry, and he sang it. It's meant to be a noble gentleman, a British nobleman, coming across Ayreon outside. I think you have some flavor text in this, right?
Yeah, so it even said, so the flavor text for this is, "Good fate has guided Ayreon to Camelot, King Arthur's castle, where he is welcomed as a worthy minstrel." Minstrel. So it's now Arthurian as well. It's like sci-fi Arthurian legend, Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur stuff, and it's like, sure, why not? Sure, why not? You recently read some King Arthur.
Yes. So yeah, I got into a little kick where I was reading old Arthur stories, like, and they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, so like it's all, you know, King Arthur is like, I think it has like this universal like appeal to people. You know, it's like it's lived on. All these old Arthur legends have lived on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Right. And I think it's because like people can see these grand stories of like heroes and knights and dragons and wizards, right? And it's like, oh, that's just fantastical and interesting, right? But when you really read those old stories, like especially the lesser known ones, you realize just how dumb they are and how ridiculous they are. Like it's like, just like in like bad science fiction, it's gobbledygook. You know, it's like this story of King Arthur. King Arthur, like he is enlisted by a young cousin of his to help him secure, you know, help him like win over the princess of the land. And he's like, "Arthur, will you help me? Cousin Arthur, will you help?" "Of course I will. What do they need?" "Well, I need to complete 100 like labors in order to win over the king of the land so I can gain his daughter, the princess." And he's like, "I will help you because I have the strongest knights in all the world." And it's just like 100 labors listed out one by one of how all of King Arthur's knights are the best in the world at what they do. They have the strongest will, strength, determination, and how they overcame the hardest of things.
So that a cousin could get the girl.
Yes. It's so dumb. And, you know, bringing King Arthur into this album, it's also very corny.
Yeah, I particularly did not care for the Old English of the lyrics. I just...
It's too much.
Yeah.
It sets the stage, I guess.
I don't want to be on this stage. If all the world is a stage, I need a different theater.
And like the singer also has like this weird warbly production effect on his voice where it's like, it sounds done after the fact. Like, you know, it's like feeding through his vocals are being fed through a synthesizer, and the synthesizer is kind of distorting his voice a little bit. So it's like unpleasant to listen to, and it just sounds ridiculous. Let me see if I can...
like auto-tune?
Yeah, a little bit. Let me see if I can pull up a chorus here.
Thy Lord, thy master, Arthur, these old bones,
right? Like, it kind of sounds like he's underwater.
Yeah. Maybe they're drowning this one.
No, he's being invited to the court of the king.
To be drowned.
Hey, we got lyrics like, "Oh, dance thee round the table, for conquerors and kings. Thou must win the heart of Guinevere, fair maiden of the king."
It's thou mustest.
Mustest? "Thy lord, thy master, Arthur, thee is so bold. Heed the words of Ayreon, and thy future will unfold."
It's not good.
It's not good. It's so ridiculous. At least, like, it's clear that Arian Lucasen was a huge fan of, like, Arthur and Legend. Like, I know this because you listen to interviews. Like, he loves sci-fi. He loves Star Trek.
Yeah.
He loves
Star Trek
Blade Runner. And he must love these old Arthurian stories.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. You know, he's a huge nerd and he wants to sing about his nerdy
Yeah.
hobbies. His
I love
escapism. That's his philosophy. It's like music should be escapism. And, like, that's what he's trying to do. It's like help his listeners escape the world.
Yeah.
You know.
Into something like that he finds really interesting and cool. I dig it.
I dig it, but I don't like it.
I dig in whole old dig in it.
Arian Lucasen even traveled to Britain as a research for the album.
Oh.
And he said, quote, "It was clear that the story would be placed in the Middle Ages, and the first thing one thinks of, King Arthur. And before I write something, I want to be sure that I'm not making any mistakes. That's why I went to England, visited some places, read some books."
Can I just say, Aaron's dad's real cool. His dad's real cool.
Yes.
This is the album that his dad sold his house for, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to England for research.
I'm gonna go to an old castle and like make sure
I'm just
getting
gonna
the
chill
facts right.
and like walk to places and then read some books on your dime, Dad. Thanks. Where are you staying? Because you sold the house." Like, like it all worked out, and I'm sure it wasn't like with that flippant attitude, but I'm like, "Excuse me, you're going where?" And I'm sure it's like definitely probably cheaper to fly. Since both places are in Europe than it is to like fly from the US there, but it's yikes.
Yep. So any other thoughts on Ye Courtyard Minstrel Boy?
I had a question, or I guess a question for you. Because the second verse, "Sing of your wisdom, spread tidings of joy, a feast of song and laughter, ye courtyard minstrel boy." And I was like, are there different kinds of bards? Can you like just sing bad stories about like the king's failure? She'd probably get killed.
I have no idea. Well, so the interesting thing here is that he's being invited to sing his prophecies to Arthur, where the townspeople they ran him out of town, right? King Arthur at least is humoring him. He's
That's because he got Merlin. He's like, you could be magic.
Sure, but like so that's another thing about King Arthur is like especially in the older stories, like now. Especially in like more modern Arthur stories, King Arthur is like the noble king, right? He's a hero.
Well, depends on which one you're watching. Yes.
But in old times, especially King Arthur was a character in a lot of like stories about saints, right? And that was like a thing in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Is like you would write a story about a saint and how he was the most pure, Christ-like man.
Yeah.
And it was like Christianity was magic.
Yeah.
It was like this guy was such a great Christian that he could bring people back from the dead, and he could just if he died, if like this is real. There were stories where this saint died and they buried his body underneath the church. Anyone who visits the church now, because the bones are so holy, they can be cured of ailments and broken bones and that kind of thing. It's like magic.
Yeah.
Anyway, in those stories about, like Christ-like saints, King Arthur was a heathen.
Yeah.
He was known for like being gallivanting around and pillaging villages and taking the women and taking the money, plundering, right? And so there were constant times where multiple saint stories where the saints had to confront King Arthur and say, "What you're doing is wrong." And the saint, because the saint was so pure, they were able to convince Arthur of his misdoings, and Arthur repented of his sins.
I guess.
So what I'm saying is that maybe Arthur in this album, this story, he is more worldly and more tolerant of like potential mystical prophecies, right? Like, oh yeah, maybe this guy is, magic, possessed by the devil, but let's bring him in. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's not write him off and banish him immediately.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Arthur is just he's more tolerant of the dark arts.
Yes, the dark arts.
Yeah. So anyway, the next several songs. So it's sort of like basically because here's where the story takes some different like diversions, right? Some detours because I can only assume that Ayreon, the man, he set the world in the Middle Ages in Britain, and he introduces King Arthur's court. Let's just indulge in King Arthur songs for a while. So there's a song about going to Avalon and getting the Holy Grail that has nothing to do with the story. And so it's just like him indulging in King Arthur lore and King Arthur's the setting of the Middle Ages. So it's just him having some fun. I skipped over all that stuff and I went straight to the next block of songs, like Act 3 of the whole project. Act 3 relates to Ayreon's prophecies about the world to come, right? The 20th century or the 21st century, like what happens there. So there are 4 songs that all relate to different disasters that befall the modern world. Okay. Right? So you chose one to talk about, and that song was Computer Rain, Game Over.
Yes.
So, already getting very electronic, befitting the name.
Yeah.
Okay. The flavor text that I have that I got from Ayreon's website says, "The terrifying tales frighten the villagers who roam out of town." We already thought that.
I have flavor text.
No, we've talked about this. Never go ahead. Yeah.
The flavor text I have says, Ayreon describes the distant future in which technology triumphs over passion, and serving computers will gradually gain control over mankind.
He definitely just watched Terminator.
Did it come out?
Terminator 2 came out in 92, 91. So yeah, basically, like, we'll get to the lyrics in a second, but the many different songs relating to Ayreon's prophecies all deal with different aspects of the modern world, right? And like concerns and anxieties, right? Yeah. This one, as you said, deals with the rise of technology, right? We're in the digital age now, 1995. Okay.
Yes.
The internet is the digital age. The internet exists.
A form of the internet.
Computers,
exists.
Right? It's Y2K. It's coming.
It's coming.
He also has songs about war, right? Just straight up like nuclear war, like endless wars, that kind of thing. That was anxiety. And then environmental issues, so global warming and climate change and the rainforest being burned down, all that stuff, right? So I think all of those different songs come from a place in Ayreon's like life where he felt anxiety about where the world was going at the time, right?
How old was he about when?
I can only assume he was like in his late 20s.
Okay.
Maybe early 30s. Most likely late 20s.
Yeah, I guess that's about the time you start going like, things were better when I was a kid.
Yeah, right? It's like the world isn't the way it used to be.
It was so much simpler in the 70s.
Well, yeah, because that's easy. He wants to escape. I want to watch Star Trek and listen to The Who's Tommy. But yeah, so this is something that we've talked a little bit about it. Like the end of the millennium is coming, right? And I can't speak for Ayreon specifically, but I would imagine there was a lot of like introspection at the time. Like this chapter of the world is coming to an end, right? And there's a new chapter starting, and people are getting anxious about it, and they're examining their own placement in the world or the state of the world at the time. So, the year 2000 is coming. Let's think about what's next, right? So a lot of people were thinking about like, are we doing good for the world, right? Is the world in a good place? Should we be working more towards peace and preserving the wonderful world that we have, or do we need to be scared of what's to come? right?
Yeah, I think you're right. There's definitely a heavy theme of that throughout a lot of the art at the time. Not just music, but definitely a lot in music too.
But speaking specifically about computer rain, obviously he's talking about the rise in technology. Let's hear a little bit of those lyrics coming in.
I see a future cold as ice where all the love is gone. I see a race that pays the price for everything it's done. I see shadows of giant machines cast upon the land. I see a world where kings not queens but ships are in command.
Ships are in command.
Computer.
So he's surely scared of all of the computers scare him apparently.
Yeah.
Like I understand he's being like speaking for Ayreon the character. Yeah. Seeing a world with computers and all that stuff is terrifying. I can understand. It's like I can't even comprehend what these devices do or what they are, right?
Yeah.
But like we're getting into the information age, and the internet created anxieties in certain people, right? It's a very sci-fi concept where it's like, yeah, all of the world's information is at our fingertips, right? How is that going to affect everything?
Yeah.
Diplomacy and politics and communication and just like basic human interaction. How is that all going to change, right? Are we going to get dehumanized?
Yeah. I think probably even maybe not Ayreon, but like in general, the fear that status would be moved because like now you don't have to have traveled to a different country to understand stuff, to know, like you don't have to be like moneyed to be learned.
Yeah.
Learned.
I'm thinking there Metal Gear Solid 2, which is also a very like there's a lot of Metal Gear energy in this where it's like high concept, like big ideas, but it's also kind of corny and dumb, you know?
How'd you work 2 video game references in here? How did you do that?
The same influences of Ayreon are the same influences of weird video games. Okay.
John Woo?
Maybe even
John Woo is
movies.
always the answer. John Woo is always the answer.
I can't think of any kung fu fights or gun kata in an Ayreon album, unfortunately.
Okay, Ayreon, step it up.
But the idea of the information age where, you know, all of the world's information is at our fingertips and it's like how basically that game predicted a post-truth future where it's like you can no longer be sure of what is real and what isn't because there's just so much information out there. You're constantly bombarded with information from the internet that it's hard to know what isn't and isn't true. What is and isn't true because there's no system in place to provide context and framework.
Yeah, and if he thought it was bad in 1995.
Yeah, so
I wonder what he thinks about it now.
And also I like the first verse of that where it's like, I see a future cold as ice where love has gone, right? Computers and reliance on computers make people cold.
They can.
These machine men. This reminded me of
Charlie
Chaplin's the general, whatever. What is that?
The dictator?
The Great Dictator. Where he's talking about how machines and industrialization has made men cold.
Yeah. Do not give in to these machine men.
Yep.
Yeah, even with that, I had the problem because anytime I see something that starts off cold as ice, I think of Robert Frost's poem. But I didn't write that down this time, even though I brought it up anyway. But the second part of that, the first verse, I see a race that pays the price for everything it's done. I wrote a note that says Twitter never forgets.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
and
it was
you didn't even know.
Yeah. It was so like when I read that, I was like, oh dude, you didn't even know how apropos. Like, yeah, you're right. Like everything that's done has a price because delete it, somebody's gonna find it. Like, nope.
And like it's so crazy, like all these anxieties about like technology, right? Like I can see like a line like I see shadows of giant machines cast upon the land, right?
I put planes.
Huh?
I put planes.
I think of like him fearing industrialization, like continued industrialization of the world, right? Like big factories and
blocking out skylines.
Yeah, and mini malls and stuff, like, you know. But like now, like that was a concern now, but they couldn't even comprehend that the fears of technology would all be in the abstract digital space, right? It's like they have no idea the horrors of Facebook, you know, and the horrors that Facebook will bring upon the land. It's like there's a shadow of Facebook cast upon the land, but it's not a giant machine. It's like, I don't know what.
Yeah, there's like no one for one analogy for that.
Yeah, you can't. It's just like this horrible, like non-existent thing has ruined a lot of aspects of our life.
It's the skyscraper of the mind.
Yeah, and like Facebook relationships, like killing real life relationships, you know, and that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, technology has made people cold and cut off from the love in their hearts.
I think it's hard because it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like, yeah, I think that definitely is true, but it's not 100%, right? Like, it's probably 70-30. In which direction, I'm not sure, you know, because I think about even with the story and how Ayreon is telling it, right? Like, yes, I'm a minstrel, but I'm also a prophet. I'm telling you about all these things that will come to pass. Like, in saying it, you're going to create some who will listen and some who won't, right? So I think that in the same way, right? Like, I use technology. I don't feel like I'm a cold person, you know, but I do know that there are things that, like, I do have to, if I see, I have to shut down, like, my emotive side so that I can continue to function. So, yeah, you know, I think he is right? Like, I think there are, even in that line where it says, like, a race that pays the price for everything it's done, and saying, like, Twitter never forgets, but neither do we, right? So there are a lot of things that I can, like, point out as great things that, like, not Facebook, because I'm not on Facebook, I hate Facebook, but, like, that technology and platform sites have allowed me to do to connect with old friends, new friends, learn new skills and do things. But I also, in those same platforms, things that I can't forget that are like horrors and things that make me like want to, right? Like, I love TikTok, but there'll be days where I'm scrolling through my feed and I'm like, I need to get off, and I'm off for days because, like, I'm spiraling, you know? So I think that it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, you know, so it's funny, like, in 1995, I can't, like, it's hard for me to say. It's like, was the internet more or less sanitized in 1995 than it is now? You know, in some respects, when I was getting into the internet, like 2007 to 2011, you know, like that end of the 2000s era, that's when I was like really starting to get into the internet. Yeah. Like, in some respects, like, the internet was less sanitized. It was like, there were a lot of like off-color jokes and racism and, you know, just like casual racism and just, you know, dumb stuff like that, like shock humor, right? Like, I see less of that now, but maybe that's because I put those walls up. It's still there in some respects, but a lot of people, like, were resistant to sanitizing their spaces on the internet or whatever, right? So I can't say what Ayreon even knew about the internet in 1995, right? Like, was he confronted with, like, I don't like that?
Yeah. I feel like the internet nowadays is way more corporate, right?
That's
like,
true
I think
too.
Everything, everywhere you go is owned by something, right? Like, so in that, there are, for the most part, depending on where you're going, right? Like, there are dark spots in the internet. You just don't type that into the URL. You're fine.
Yeah.
But I think that for the most part, it's sanitized in that it needs to be, what's that word Lindsay Ellis used?
Regulated?
Regulated, yeah, but sellable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of what
she's monetized.
Yeah, you know, like, it needs to be something that you are able to, on the grand scheme, make money off, and then also not make too many waves so that your
brand is protected.
Yeah, you know, so in that way, I think that it is a lot more sanitized, but it's so rigorously controlled that you can, like, there's a reason we say Disney are our overlords. They control everything, because they do, you know, like, there's very little places you can go that you're not like, this is a subsidiary of Disney. And in that, like, yeah, it's like clean, but like, you also, what are you paying into and what are you losing in that? Where I think in the early days of the internet, hackers were a thing, but they weren't as like streamlined, sophisticated, and like you know, like, you could get hacked and you could get your information, but you are so much more likely to get just walking to a Starbucks and not turning your internet off, you know?
Yeah. And I assume, like, back then the internet was like much more of a novelty. It's like, yeah, look at this. They got a fan site for a weird thing.
Yeah.
Look at this weird website. And, it's actually pretty funny. For someone who is writing all these songs about being super anxious about the coming millennium and technology and the rise of the digital age, Ayreon Lucasen is has one of the most active presences on the internet for any rock band I've ever seen. The man's websites are thorough. Like he has like breakdowns of all his albums. He does interviews and in-depth like making ofs for all of his albums. The man has a lot of cool resources on his website. Like if you want to just learn about Ayreon, like he makes it super easy to do that.
The research for this episode was a breeze.
Well, yeah, because it was just all there.
Yeah.
It's like all of his old interviews are archived. It's like, yeah, man, he takes care of his history, which is crazy considering he was terrified of computer chips.
But also makes a lot of sense because he's a bard. He keeps that history.
He is that, yeah. The song ends, like close to the end, there's a lyric. I see a planet die in space and slowly fade away. I see the end of the human race. There has to be a way.
I see a game gone out of hand and memories erased. I see a program master plan and man will be replaced. I see a planet die in space and slowly fade away. I see the end of the human race. There has to be a way.
That calls to mind environmentalism, because I think the warning of the song is, hey, this rise in technology and industrialization will get worse and worse, and the planet's going to die out. It's going to choke the planet. Something's got to be done.
Yeah.
Right? Very environmental. I dug up an interview that he did with the Dutch rock magazine Aardschok. He was asked if he had become a, quote, Greenpeace fanatic. Because I looked it up, global warming, and climate change, really started to enter the mainstream in the late 80s, right? That's when it really became a concern. There were studies done, and, scientists were like, hey, yeah, maybe this should be an issue
that we're addressing.
Mm-hmm. There might be something to this, and there was instant backlash. And I think, I'm not sure, I would assume that part of that backlash stems from the 70s and 60s when hippies were a thing, and hippies were like, we gotta save the environment, man. We gotta love each other, right? And, people wrote off hippies as, dumb idealists, who were unintelligent and didn't really have a plan.
It's because they had weed.
Yeah, they weren't pragmatic, and they, these dumb tree huggers don't have a plan, right? So that sentiment carried into the late 80s, early 90s when it's Greenpeace activists were a thing, but they were dismissed rather frequently. We've seen it in many of our TV shows and movies.
That's true.
Hillary of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the dumb bimbos in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right?
Don't call them bimbos.
They're all vapid Hollywood types that talk about wanting to save the environment but are too dumb or,
it's just a talking
informed.
point.
Yeah, they're not informed, so they don't know how to fix it. So that's the stereotype.
Yeah.
So Greenpeace activism seemed kind of like it was looked down upon in some circles. So this magazine asked him, are you a Greenpeace advocate for writing this album? And Lucasen responded, quote, I didn't intend the message as it turned out to be. It's just a fact. Things are going the wrong way in this world. And if that continues, it will all be over soon. It's up to people to change that. But I'm not a fanatic. You have to qualify that.
Because people are always going to call you fanatic.
So I just thought that was interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
And so, yeah, this album, for all of its weird themes and its corny concept, at its core, it is a song with a call to action. It's like, hey, let's protect this pretty cool world we live in.
Yeah.
Let's think about ways that we can improve ourselves. And I feel like this block of songs does that.
Yeah. Kid, while you're listening to this, go outside and pick up some trash. Throw it away.
Yeah. All right. So the last song we're going to talk about is called
Ayreon's Fate.
Ayreon's Fate. It is the last song on the album, and we're gonna skip over some plot stuff, but I will give you the breakdown. Okay, so from the website, it says, jealous of his ability to foresee the future, Merlin, the court's wizard, isn't pleased with Ayreon's message, convincing the court that the minstrel must be a fake. Merlin believes it is necessary to silence Ayreon forever and curses him. So that's what happens. That's what's happened in the story since then. Merlin straight up walks in and is like, "Hey, this blind minstrel,
he's full of it.
Let's curse him.
Let us get rid of him."
And he puts a curse on him, and it means he's gonna like die soon or something, like a death curse.
Yeah.
So the song has 3 movements. The first movement is called Ayreon's Fate, which is named after the full song, and it features 2 speakers, Ayreon and Merlin, right? And this is Ayreon responding to Merlin having put a curse on him.
Yes, the flavor text in itself says, Ayreon desperately attempts to convince Merlin of his sincerity, but Merlin won't hear of it as he casts a spell on poor Ayreon.
So let's hear a little bit of that dialogue.
Misguided Merlin, you fail to understand. I could never be your rival. I was just a pawn in a future master plan for the purpose of survival. Ayreon, I've cast my spell on you. I have no faith you cannot be true.
So just they're talking to each other like, Merlin, don't do this. Ayreon, I must. So Ayreon for this movement is played by Dutch singer and voice actor Edward Riekers, lead singer for the Dutch progressive rock band Kayak, which was like a progressive rock, they were legendary in Holland, in the Netherlands from the 70s. So he got a legend in here to play Ayreon. So like anything you want to pick out of this opening movement here?
Not really. I just, for most of the song, just enjoyed the back and forth. Like,
yeah, I like you hear it, you get a little bit of character. So Ayreon tells Merlin, "I forgive you, Merlin, for you don't know what you've done."
Yeah.
What did that remind you of? Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus moment.
That was definitely done on purpose. I
Yeah.
have to think that was done on purpose. This is Ayreon being the Christ-like martyr.
Yeah.
Who's dying for the sins of these dumb Middle English,
Which tracks for Arthurian legends.
So can I talk a little bit about Merlin?
Sure.
So Merlin, I took a medieval literature course in college, right? We learned a little bit about Arthur and legend and stuff like that. And Merlin is kind of funny because he was injected into the Arthurian canon, right? As we all know, like he's the wizard who either raised Arthur or he was Arthur's like counsel,
Right.
Right? He gave like spiritual guidance to Arthur or whatever.
Right.
Merlin became popular because this was all written in the Middle Ages, like medieval times, right? Like it is difficult for information to travel, right? Mm-hmm. When news happens in Britain or news happens in the Middle East or whatever, right? Let's say news happens in Italy, right? It's going to take a while for that news to reach Britain.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if I should have looked up like the specifics here, but basically stories were written with knowledge of happenings around the world, right? Like a traveling writer maybe have picked up on some news that happened around the world. Mm-hmm. He then wrote the story where Merlin comes to Arthur and tells him, King Arthur, this has happened.
Yeah.
Then when readers read it, they're like, oh, wow, Merlin predicted this. Then finally, when news hits that thing did happen, they're like, oh my gosh, Merlin predicted it. And that's how Merlin gained notoriety, because like the character Merlin was like this prophet who was able to predict events when it was mostly just like, no, this writer just knew about the information before other people did.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so
that's journalism.
Merlin has a shady history from the start. And here he is going to murder this poor. He's he's accusing this minstrel boy of being a fraud.
When he, in fact, is a fraud.
Yeah.
He's like, no. There's only room in this town for one of us.
Yep. So basically the dialogue happens where the gist is Ayreon saying, hey, Merlin, please don't do this. And Merlin's like, I got to do this. And he does it.
Hey, Merlin, you know what would be cool if you didn't just murder me? Could you not? Oh, man. I mean, that would be cool, but I already got my wand out.
And Merlin does the deed, and Ayreon's like, no! He dies. Right? Do you have flavor text on that?
Okay, this is under the movement Merlin's prophecy. This is what I think of the flavor text is, because it's all cap and the rest is not. Merlin is stricken with grief, for he has had a vision that proves Ayreon to be genuine. Reluctant to pass into eternity as the martyr of mankind, Merlin vows that Ayreon's word will be spread to the 21st century. Sorry, the 20th century, in hope that it will not be too late, and that man will heed his premonitions.
But the implication is he's killed Ayreon at this point.
Yes.
Ayreon's gone.
Yep.
He failed.
He did indeed fail.
The baby face failed.
Well.
So that's what I was saying earlier. It's like Ayreon didn't get revenge. He vowed to, like, one day I will rise up. No, he just got killed by Merlin.
You know, sometimes you just don't get your end game.
Yeah. And as you said, Merlin receives the prophecy, and he's like, oh crap, what have I done?
The first real prophecy he's ever had in his life.
Yeah. So anyway, let's hear Merlin's prophecy. Yeah, so with this movement here, it's basically Merlin being played by all of the guest speakers together, all reprising their roles. So this is like the closing song, right? Mm-hmm. It's the whole cast is taking a bow by playing Merlin, saying, "Hey, I'm Merlin. I was wrong to kill Ayreon. He was right all along. Oh crap, what are we gonna do? I'll just send a message to the 20th century and say, hey, Ayreon was right. We got to put a stop to this."
Hey, people from the future. Maybe you should have put it in Merlin's head to begin with. He had the ear of the king. Why'd you give it to a blind minstrel?
Okay, that just adds more to the theory that it was random. And then the song ends here. This movement says, "I hope one day that man will understand. It's in his power to change his destiny. I hope one day he'll do all that he can, and all the nations will be one." Which is a very hippie sentiment. This reminds me of John Lennon.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I can only... That's a different Imagine.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Imagine all the people.
Yeah.
Eating with you.
But that's really the end of the Ayreon album, where it's like put in the hands of the people of the 20th century. Like, it's like, hey, Ayreon failed, but you won't, right? Listener of this song.
Did they? Because we're in the 21st century. We weren't sent this message.
We were, in the form of Ayreon the Final Experiment, the album. I think that's where it gets meta, where it's like Merlin sends out this wave of information. It's like, somebody will hear my plight. Someone will take this warning and send it to the masses. And maybe the idea is it reached the head of Ayreon Lucasen, Anthony. And it's like, I need to write this album.
I need to do this.
And he wrote this album. And it's like, I'm the blind minstrel now. Will you listen to me?
No, we'll listen to Bill Nye, though.
Bill Nye, Al Gore. It's like, will they listen to him? Who knows? But it's like that's the end of the song. Where
Bernie
it's like
Sanders?
This call to action, like saying, hey, we got to take care of this planet. Learn from the story of Ayreon.
But please don't kill me.
Right. And then the song ends at the very end, and you hear the voice of Merlin one last time for the epilogue, and he gives everybody some instructions.
The outcome of the final experiment has now been placed in your hands.
The clock is ticking. So, yep, that is the end of the final experiment by Ayreon. Like I said, it's up to you, the listener of this album, to do something.
Do something.
Heed the warning of the future.
Murder.
I think that, to be honest, like the true tragedy is like people still aren't listening.
Yeah.
So
I will say this is kind of a hard album to like get a bunch of people to hear this specific message, but the message is in like a lot of different things.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure, this album is weird and not, like it's
not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, but he's
they
trying.
Go to Avalon.
I definitely admire Mr. Lucason's like conviction on this.
Yeah,
it's like he wrote a song that meant a lot to him, and he's like, hey, I want to have like a a message that people can get behind.
Yeah,
and he did.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on the final experiment?
It was fine. There was a murder. There was pleading. There was regret. It's more like in all my rock operas.
You think it was an effective rock opera? Was it the best rock opera you ever heard in your life?
Yes, it was the best that I have ever heard in my life.
Because you haven't heard any other ones.
That is exactly true. It was also the worst rock opera I have ever heard in my life.
So I will say it's definitely not the best rock opera I've ever heard in my life. It's definitely not even the best Ayreon album. It's not that bad. I think like it's got a lot of interesting ideas and
it was
concepts.
It was his
first soiree. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I think it revealed to me just how deprioritized albums were in the 90s. Like people released albums, but like at least for me, the pop music of the time, like popular music in the mainstream, they weren't emphasizing albums as much as just singles. So for me, it's like, this is an album I wanted to hear from start to finish because I was, intrigued by the story that it presented. I wasn't, you're going to list some runners up. I probably wasn't intrigued by the whole album as a whole. I wasn't intrigued and said, I want to listen to that album from start to finish.
Right.
So I think that's something. The idea of a project, a concept album, right? One that's supposed to be actively listened to from start to finish, just wasn't a thing really in the 90s. So it has a place, but it's not in the mainstream.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, was a time.
Would you recommend the final experiment?
No.
Can you think of anyone like off the top of your head that you were like, yes, that person would enjoy this?
Kane.
Our weird friends. So yeah, I also here's the deal. Like I would not recommend this album as your first Ayreon album. I would
Which one would you rock?
I would recommend two. If you want one that's much more grounded and like more relatable to everyday life, I would listen to The Human Equation. It tells the story of a man who falls into a coma, and he's a troubled man, falls into a coma, and he has conversations with the emotions in his mind.
Did we listen to that one?
No, we did not.
Okay.
And it's a little bit like Inside Out, Pixar's Inside Out. Except they're basically, he's stuck in the coma and he doesn't know why he's in the coma. So his emotions are jogging his memory about his life and like taking him through important, crucial moments in his life to tell him why you were in such a troubled state and why you're in the coma now.
Right.
And it's a pretty like interesting, grounded, engaging story. Like there's some stinkers as far as songs go, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I want to listen to that from start to finish because I want to know the story. And I would also recommend, if you want something a little bit more weird, same with like the weird melding of sci-fi and fantasy, The Electric Castle, which is the story of a group of like 12 people from across history. You got like a Viking, you got like a knight from King Arthur's court, you got some people from Egypt, like ancient Egypt, you got a hippie, and they're all transported to a realm beyond time by this ancient entity that says, okay, you're all here. Here's your test. You need to like travel this wasteland and get to the Electric Castle. It's ridiculous.
Sounds like a Bill and Ted spinoff.
But I don't know, it's a lot more fun because all the different characters, they all represent a different type of music. So, like, the hippie obviously represents hippie music from the 70s. But, you know, everyone else has their own, like... And all the characters are played by one person. One singer.
Okay.
So, it's...
Interesting. Yeah.
It's good. People like that one.
If you want to give rock opera a try, kids.
There you go. The Human Equation and the Electric Castle.
Electric Boogaloo.
So how was the Final Experiment received? The Final Experiment was a surprise financial success with 6,000 copies sold in Holland within the first month of its release.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like a surprise to everyone. Critically, the album has been praised for its musicianship, ambition, and creativity, and it's considered significant by fans and critics for laying the groundwork for Ayreon's future releases. It's like, at the very least, it's like, hey, this one was a success and allowed him to create more of them.
Yeah.
Progressive rock magazine Background called The Final Experiment, quote, one of the best Dutch prog rock albums ever. It's like, there's like a point of national pride in Ayreon for this. It's like, yeah, this is like a great Dutch album.
This is great. It was so great my dad was able to buy his house back.
Hopefully. German magazine Rock Hard called it, quote, a colorful masterpiece of world class that one can listen to 100 times through headphones at night without one spark of boreness.
Okay.
However, there were some negative sentiments thrown around at the album's lyrical content. Sputnik Music said, quote, for some, the music and lyrical content on The Final Experiment might come across as cheesy or forced, but hey, if you want sensitive music and deep poetic lyrics, go listen to Dylan. Bob Dylan. The Final Experiment was named Album of the Month and Album of the Year by Aardschok magazine, the Dutch rock magazine.
All right.
And it was named in the Moord list, a poll of prominent Dutch music critics that at the time was dominated by alternative releases. So it was like Ayreon had a place at the table of like the best like Dutch albums at the time.
Okay. Good job, Ayreon.
Good job, Ayreon.
You worked hard for this, and you received good tidings.
And let's talk about its legacy. In 2004, Ayreon Lucassen moved to a new record label, Inside Out, leading to reissues of all of the previous Ayreon releases, including The Final Experiment. That reissue included a bonus CD featuring 9 reworked recordings of tracks, or segments of tracks found on the original album with different singers and all acoustic instrumentation. So that is still out there if you want to check that out. And where did Ayreon go from here? Well, strong sales in Holland and internationally helped Lucassen secure funding for a follow-up album, but that is a story for a different day. And with that, we're going to close out this segment with the song Merlin's Will off of The Final Experiment, and we're going to see you on the other side with an equally big album.
Equally big! Another rock opera. I bet you guys didn't think that I would listen to it.
Be right back.
Hi all, I have great news for all you vinyl lovers. Now, I know it took about 20 years to get this done, but we are finally releasing the first 2 Ayreon albums. The Final Experiment, on my left, you're right, and Actual Fantasy on vinyl. The Final Experiment comes in a 3 LP hardcover box, and Actual Fantasy Revisited in a 4 LP hardcover box. Both come with extras like a signed postcard. So I'd say check it out, and if you see what you like, pre-order your copy now. Thank you.
Coming back with Michael Jackson's Too Bad. He's back. Back again.
He's back again.
and Michael, is this Michael number 3?
Bad, dangerous, yes.
Yep. No,
Michael number 3.
This is Michael's three boot. I think he's the only... No, Dream Theater... It's like Dream Theater, Guns N' Roses, and Michael have all been three-peats.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is Too Bad. This is the Shaq song. Shaquille O'Neal raps.
Michael Jackson.
Shaquille O'Neal raps on this song.
He does an incredible job. He's a great rapper.
No, he's not. Great basketball player. Not a good singer. Not a good rapper. Not a good...
How's he as a wrestler?
Not very good. Cody had to carry him.
That's a lot of man to carry.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is from Jess's album 1995. Released November 20th, 1995. An ambitious double album of material, old and new. The 9th solo record of the King of Pop. That is History. Past, Present, and Future. Book 1.
Woo! That's quite a title.
Yeah. So, Jess, why is this your album?
Because it's Michael Jackson.
It's same answer as all the other Jacksons.
Yes.
Your mom?
Yes.
She liked it.
Indeed.
Do you remember this song, like this album, as much as the other ones?
No, absolutely not. Because by 95, I was, how old was I?
6?
Yeah, I wasn't listening to my own music. I don't know. I think by 95, wasn't into reading. I don't know. I just don't remember this one as fault. I think it's also because like my mom doesn't necessarily play things off of this album as much.
I don't think anyone does. It's like there are like good songs in this album and like noteworthy ones and like songs that were singles and big hits, but like I've already talked about like my history with Michael Jackson and like how I got in, you know, what I listened to first and how I got into it and stuff like that. Like this album is like completely independent of all those things. Like he died and like none of these songs were played on VH1 or the radio or anything like that. A tribute, you know, it was all the hits.
Yeah.
From Thriller and Bad and Dangerous.
And there were no hits from this one.
Like not ones that I saw on any of those platforms. So like really the only song from this album that like I knew about really before like we went into this for this project was a song we're going to talk about a little later. And I'll explain why that song was one that I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good song. I will put that on my iPod.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little later. So yeah, I guess we're going to jump into this album then.
Hey.
Okay, so
let's talk about my favorite song on the album. Okay, it's not my favorite
song. I
song.
gotta talk about the history of the album first.
Oh, that's fine.
So, like, as we talked about in our 1991 music episode, Michael Jackson continued to maintain his dominance of pop music with the release of the album Dangerous and the resulting world tour. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I like that. One of the best albums we've ever listened to media made. However, in late 1993, health issues, a painkiller addiction, and certain other high-profile controversies forced Michael Jackson to cancel the remainder of the Dangerous tour.
That sucks.
Yeah. We're not going to get too much into detail with those other controversies. It's just not the place for the show, I guess. Mm-hmm. Really. So, yeah, let's just say he was having a rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different issues, and Michael had to basically, like, pull out of the entertainment side of things for a while.
Yeah.
And that's when, like, the poor wacko jacko like
thing like was really picking up.
Yeah, like reinforced really because he was always like, you know, as we've talked about, he was a target of the media since the 80s, right? And he was already writing songs about how much he hated it, but now it's like, oh yeah, maybe he is really a weirdo. Like we've proven it. It's horrible. Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley in May '94. A move met expectedly with media scrutiny. People said, "Oh, it's not real. It's a marriage of convenience."
Marriage is still a marriage, even if it's convenient.
They're not really in love. Like
sorry. Okay.
And like they had the weird kiss at the Video Music Awards or whatever.
Okay, but let's be honest, right? If we had to be at an awards and we kissed, we would be super awkward about it. We don't kiss in public. Like,
yeah,
that's
but the
just not
fact
a
that they
thing
did it,
for
it all
us.
seemed weird because it seemed like she wasn't expecting it. They said it wasn't gonna last.
Stop it.
So that's what it sounded. That's what he said. They separated December '95.
That's odd.
They made it more than a year.
Yeah.
Jackson entered the studio to record his next album in September '94. The idea of a greatest hits collection with a handful of new songs had been thrown around since 1989, before even Dangerous. The result was History, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1, comprising of 2 discs. History Begins, which was a greatest hits compilation, and History Continues, comprising of all new material, and which I think is a very weird concept.
I mean, we just listened to a rock opera.
With two very weird concepts in this episode. I feel like that's going to be in the episode description.
Oh, wow.
Big concepts, 1995.
Concepts we don't conceptually see.
Jackson co-wrote and co-produced a majority of the new songs alongside a laundry list of guest writers and producers, including Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Jimmy Jam's not a real person.
Dallas Austin, The Notorious B.I.G., Bruce Sweden, R. Kelly, Renee Moore, David Foster, and Bill Bottrell.
Isn't David Foster an actor?
I don't know. Maybe a different David Foster. The recording wrapped in March 95, with the recording process only lasting 6 months. A notably quick turnaround for Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the perfectionist that he was.
Yeah, they just got this out.
But he had been not working for a little bit.
That's true.
Maybe he didn't have a marriage to focus on.
He was probably writing material in his dark days, I guess, in 93, 94.
It's fair.
Yeah. So that is surprisingly swiftly the history of Michael Jackson's history.
Quick.
History of history.
The short history of history.
Yep. So we're gonna jump in to our first song, which you said was your favorite.
Well, it's not my favorite because I definitely have one that's my favorite. But upon re-listening to it or listening to it, the first round that we did, I was like, oh, I really enjoy this song. I was like, oh, it's the one that gets stuck in my head.
One, yeah, same with me. This was the one that stuck the most when we listened to it together for sure. It's I don't know, this was the bright spot from the album. But that song is They Don't Care About Us. They don't really care about us. It is very different. You hear the tribal beats. What is that?
Drums.
Just drums, doing this beatboxing thing, and then Michael's gonna start singing here in a second. I'm already over here bopping and dancing but yeah, it's very chant-like.
Yeah.
It's like an anthem.
Yeah. I was even I had written down that the verse portions, the beat is, I love it. I really like the beat, right? Even when you read it, you automatically, skinhead, deadhead, everybody's gone dead. It's just one of those things that you just pop your head to.
Right. Yeah. It's a very interesting song. And so, I wanted to, before we talk about the lyrical content, I do want to say that, something I appreciate about the song is, how slowly, but, methodically it builds on itself. It starts out pretty slow with, very basic, stripped down, drums or, your beat.
Yeah.
Because it sounds digital to me. It's like a digital beat.
It's percussion still.
Yeah, percussion and Michael, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a little bit of reverb in there, but it's just, Michael doing his chant, and then slowly elements are introduced to the song. It's very progressive in that way.
Yeah,
progressive music, which I like. So, by the end of the second, it's almost like every minute a new element is introduced, right? So at minute 2, synthesizers are introduced. It sounds like this. And you hear the keyboard in the background very slowly.
And you love you some synth.
I do. You
got some harmonies in the back.
Digital choir, yeah. And then, after another minute or so, the song once again adds another layer, and this one is very pronounced. Yeah, so at the 3-minute mark, we get this. Freaking Slash, the guitarist from Guns N' Roses.
Is he credited?
He is.
I was like, or did you just like, oh, that sounds like the fingers of Slash?
Well, you can tell that's Slash. Like, yeah, that's definitely a Slash sound. It's the same sound you hear on Black and White. And then you get this like that crazy like keyboard stuff that you heard in Speed Demon.
Yeah.
Speed Demon.
I don't remember that song.
So yeah, like musically, it's really unique.
Yeah, for Michael.
For Michael, yeah, like I've never heard anything like this before from Michael. It's like it's almost like he's introducing like you heard it in Jam, where like a lot of the percussion and sound effects were like
just sounds.
Yeah, like pots slamming against each other, or like trash cans or bottles breaking.
Ambient.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that in this. You want to talk about the lyrics?
Yeah, I think it opens really strongly. Like we heard the kids sing, chanting, but it opening with the line, "All I want to say is they don't really care about us."
Who's they?
They
don't care about us.
They don't care who's us. Us.
It's an important question to ask.
So I think like I just wrote down strong open because it's really interesting to start it off because the song is they don't care about us, but the lyric is all I want to say is they don't really care about us.
Yeah.
So everything else is like you're asking me why, and I will give you my reasons like, well, why do you think that? How come you believe that's the truth? Yes. But bottom line, no matter what you say, yeah, but think about this. All I want to say is they don't really care about us, you know? So I think that like that and then having it in a chorus of children is a very strong choice.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah.
Michael loves the children.
Michael does. And I think that especially when he wants to talk about issues, you know, like bigger issues, he goes one or two ways. Either like children are singing or speaking the lyrics, or there's a choir. There's a gospel choir. Like that's how you know when he wants to like make a point.
So you know he's serious. It's like, hey, the gospel choir is singing. This is a matter of life and death. Your salvation's at stake.
Right. And if the children are, it's like, this is our future. Hey guys, don't think about yourself.
Yes.
Think about what this is, how this is moving forward in generations. And I think lyrically, right, when we get past that, it just gets very aggressive.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
In being like fed up because you're saying like nobody cares. And so the verses that are like those those like very distinct beat chant ones, skinhead, deadhead, everybody's gone dead, situation, aggravation, everybody, allegation, in the suite, on the news, everybody, dog food, bang, bang, shock dead, everybody's gone mad. And then the next portion, beat me, hate me, you can never break me, will me, thrill me, you can never kill me. But like all of these things just kind of like stuff, it feels like things that like I've tried to talk politely about, but now I'm just using those like trigger words. What is the word?
That's not make sense, you know? I just like charged words.
Yeah. That like to make someone like, oh, whoa, we don't say that in polite conversation. Well, we are going to say it because you're not listening to polite conversation.
Right.
Kind of thing.
And so I think Michael wrote these lyrics as like an anthem for the marginalized.
Yeah.
Right. That it's very clear. That's what he's doing. It's like, hey, the people who are beat down, the people who are being displaced or insulted or beaten, like, yeah, the world doesn't care about us. They, you know, whoever they are, the people in power, the oppressors, they don't care about us. But you know what? We're here and we're gonna fight.
Yeah. And it's good because, right, like the refrain that is between all of these like hard edge, like pop buzzwords, that's the word. These hard edge buzzwords is just the refrain. All I want to say is they don't really care about us. They don't care what we have to say. They're already turning their backs and not listening unless we're using this coarse, crude language.
Yeah. And so, speaking of coarse, crude language, there is a particular verse in the song that caused quite a controversy. And I think, unfortunately, kind of like muddied the waters, you know?
Of what it was trying to say.
Yeah, like made
message.
it basically gave ammunition to the people who were like quick to like dismiss the song anyway. And that is I'm not going to say these words, especially the derogatory ones, but he says, Jew me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me.
Derogatory word.
Derogatory word for a Jewish person. Me, Don't You Black or White Me. All I have to say is that they don't really care about us, right? So at 105, it sounds like this. Right, so in the now official versions of the songs, those words are censored. Just cut out. You can't hear them anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened was, at the time, like, people were like, the song's anti-Semitic. He used an anti-Semitic term, right? Mm-hmm. There's anti-Semitic sentiments in this song. And Michael obviously responded like, no, that's not true. He said, quote, "The idea that these lyrics could be deemed objectionable is extremely hurtful to me and misleading. The song, in fact, is about the pain and prejudice and hate, and is a way to draw attention to social and political problems. I am the voice of the accused and the attacked. I am the voice of everyone. I am the skinhead. I am the Jew. I am the black man. I am the white man. I am not the one who is attacking. It is about the injustices of young people and how the system can wrongfully accuse them. I am angry and outraged that I could be so misinterpreted." Right? Mm-hmm. So I understand where he's coming from. And I understand, like, he's trying to be...
inclusory?
Yeah, and I don't know. He's trying to make a statement.
Yeah.
I also understand they're like, yeah, Michael, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So, like, I was reading some different, like, media critics, and they were saying, like, we understand the intention, but the problem is that the fact that the song could be misconstrued so easily means that it wasn't effective.
Yeah. And I think, okay, I will say, like you said, I don't know that it's, like, easily I think some of the people were just looking for it, and they're going like, yep, all of us think this because we want to, like, tear him down. But I will say, right, like, you can't use words that don't belong to you.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Like, if this was a song and freaking Macklemore was singing a song and he used the N-word in it because he was like, I want to talk about how we're all oppressed, I'd be like, no. You know, kind of thing. Like, I get what you tried to do, but no. So I think in the same way, it's like, I get it. Not your word, bro.
Yeah. And another thing is, so I was reading, it's like, well, Michael, like, defended himself. He's like, you know, the Notorious B.I.G. used the N-word in one of my songs here on this album. You know, that wasn't an issue. It's like, yeah, but
that's his word.
Yeah. So I understand what they're talking about. And in response to the controversy, Michael promised that all future copies of the album would include an apology, and concluded, quote, "I just want you all to know how strongly I am committed to tolerance, peace, and love, and I apologize to anyone who might have been hurt." And as I just showed, those lyrics were replaced with either sound effects that, like, censored the words, and I think in some versions the lyrics were completely changed to "do me and strike me" instead.
Okay.
Yeah, so do me, sue me, everybody do me. Kick me, strike me. Don't you black or white me.
Yeah.
I feel like it saves a certain purpose.
Yeah, it does, right? Like, it's like right in writing, right? I've got that belief that you don't, for me as a writer, don't use cuss words unless they're earned, you know?
Yeah.
I don't particularly care for casual cursing because it's just kind of, then it's just there and it doesn't really mean anything, right? So in the same place, like, if this could be not so easily replaced, but, like, you can still have the same meaning and still be for everyone in the sense that you wanted to without using these words that obviously he didn't think would affect people like it did, but it did.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, another thing, he identifies being he identifies skinheads in the album as like members of the oppressed. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is me just going back to, like, historical skinheads of, like, the late 70s in Britain, where it's like, no, they're just neo-fascists, neo-Nazis. I wouldn't consider those people oppressed. But I'm like trying to give Michael the benefit of the doubt. I think maybe he's thinking of, like, punks of the 90s. Mm-hmm. You know, those, we talked about, like, delinquency in the 90s, right? It's like young people who are, like, you know, out on their own, don't have a home. And, like, yeah, there was a big punk subculture. And Michael was living in LA at the time. Maybe he saw the young gutter punk subculture of, like, young kids who were shaving their heads or had, like, you know, big spiky, like, mullets, but mohawks and stuff like that. Maybe that's who he was talking about when he heard skinhead. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is a question for you that you may cut. Isn't like currently skinheads, isn't it there's a like branch of like people who are like, no, yeah, we're skinheads, but like equality for everyone and love and da-da-da.
If that's the case, then maybe that's who he's thinking about.
Yeah, because I do know there are some that are like, nah, we're not.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, skinhead used to be neo-Nazi. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's. I feel like it used to be that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's changed or not, but
yeah,
I don't think Michael was saying, I stand up for the racists and the neo-Nazis.
I don't think he's saying that either.
No. Something he is talking about in this song is the topic of police brutality.
Yeah.
Like the lyric that I wrote down specifically was, "Tell me what has become of my life. I have a wife and 2 children who love me. I'm a victim of police brutality. I'm tired of being the victim of hate. You're raping me of my pride. Oh, for God's sake. I look to heaven to fulfill its prophecy. Set me free." It's like very powerful. It's like, ooh, he's talking about real issues.
Yeah. That was actually the verse that made me think of a different song by Trevor Jackson. Yeah, Trevor Jackson called Colors on the Ground. That particular verse made me think of the second verse of that song. That is so it made me think of it, and I just wanted to bring it up because those 2 songs are like 20 years, maybe 30 between them.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed, right? In the second verse of the song, it talks very specifically of the shooting, and I don't have my dates. I try to not be here, but the shooting of the man in his car with his girlfriend and his 2-year-old daughter in the backseat. And that's what the verse is about. And that like things don't change, right? Like, and so again, the refrain comes back up in this, all I want to say is they don't really care about us. Like, it doesn't matter if I have kids. It doesn't matter if my kids are right here with me. It doesn't matter if I am following the law. It doesn't matter about any of these things because I will, like, they don't really care. They don't really care.
Yeah. So this was a very, like, important, potent political topic at the time because we didn't talk about in, like, 92, but, like, the race riots in LA had happened then. The beating of Rodney King in the street by police. Like, it was in the forefront. It was in the minds of everyone at the time. And I can understand Michael. Like, obviously, he hasn't released an album since 91, you know? So I'm sure these things were on his mind. These are things that he wanted to touch on in his music.
Yeah.
So now is the time. And, like, he's going for it. Like, hey, these are issues in the world. Like, we've seen it. We've seen just, like, the ways that human beings debase each other and like, hurt one another with hate or indifference or whatever. And it's just like, I'm angry about it. I need to sing about it, and like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because this is a call to action the same way like the entirety or even more specifically the last song that we talked about in Ayreon is like this, hey, everything's changing. Like, we can see it very clearly, like that this is spiraling. Like, what are we going to do about it? It's your turn. And in Ayreon's, it's this hopeful, like, hey, it's your turn, like, to do something, like, to make a change, to enforce something different. And Michael's here, like, nope, still here. Let's be loud about it.
Yeah, it reminds me of a quote by Tupac that I heard once, where they asked him, like, why is your music so aggressive? Or, like, why is it so forceful, right? Like, why is it this way, right? And he's like, and it kind of reminds me of the progression of Michael's music and his, like, humanitarian songs and the songs that have, like, a message that he's trying to get across. Like, the way Tupac says it, he's like, for so many years, it's like, we were, like, standing at the door, like, waiting to be invited in. It's like, hey, we're out here, we're singing happy pop songs about, like, hey, we just want peace and love, and, we just want to be invited in. We all want to come together, that kind of thing, right? And it's like, nothing happened, and it got worse, and nothing changed. And then it's just like, okay, now we're yelling from outside the door. It's like, hey, we want to be let in. Got to get a little louder. Let's do it. People kept saying, oh, you got to sing your way in. You got to sing your way in. And it's like, nothing changed. It didn't work. I was like, fine, I'm going to bust down that door and go in. I'm going to rap my way in. And that was I think that was the quote. It's like, you got to rap your way in. It's like, you just got to force your way in. I feel like Michael, in his, like, we've listened to Man in the Mirror, right? It's similar topics, different approach.
Yeah.
So throughout the last 10 years or so, Michael is like, basically, he's like, I'm going to sing my way in. I'm going to try to sing my way in. I'm going to get a little louder. I'm going to get a little louder. Fine, I'm just going to break myself. I'm going to wrap myself in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's apropos. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple things, though, like black man, black male, throw a brother in jail. Yes, that's still a thing. Tell me what has become of my rights. Am I invisible because you ignore me? Your proclamation promised me free liberty. Now I'm tired of being the victim of shame. And I just... But the line that hit the hardest for me in the song was, I can't believe this is the land from which I come. I feel that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of times, I know that we have talks about just kind of everything that we see in the news, everything we see, just even in some of our day-to-day interactions and things that we've done in our, that I can just sit here and be like, I don't know if I said this on mic before, but I like say quite often, I was like, racism's everywhere. Can we move to somewhere that there's racism and free healthcare? Like,
you can't
overwhelming.
Escape it. Michael's plight is a universal plight. Like that, it's like that's the frustrating part. It's like this stuff exists everywhere, but it's like, yeah, like for us, it's like, yeah, this is in our home.
Yeah, and it's I know it is everywhere, right? But I see it more clearly here because this is where I'm from. This is where I see more news from, because like this is our atmosphere, our culture and stuff, and it's so hard some days when you get news of things that Congress or the Supreme Court have like decided on or willfully not decided on, or anything like, and you're just okay. Like, because there's no other, like, it does, at that point, it's just kind of like, what's the point of me speaking up? What's the point of me saying anything?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be ignored and pushed down, right? Like, and I feel that as a woman, I feel that as a black person, but I know that, like, I also feel it as just a middle American, right? Like, I think that you feel that in a lot of ways, too. So it's just...
This song reminds me a lot of This Is America by Childish Gambino. I'm
sure he pulled some inspiration.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. That song.
Anything else on the lyrics?
Which Martin Luther is he talking about?
Does he bring up Martin Luther?
Yeah. Some things in life they don't want to see, but if Martin Luther was living, he wouldn't let this be. No.
Is he talking about Dr. King, or is he talking about the Protestant Martin Luther? I think both would be like, yeah, I don't like what I see here. Because
for different reasons.
Both stood up against issues in their time.
Yeah.
And they took a stand.
Yeah. And they would be like, no. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's all about this song, other than it's just a good song.
Yeah, so you got a song with strong lyrical contents on like police brutality and marginalization and power to minorities. Let's say you wanted to write a music video or film a music video for this song. What film director would you hire to do that for you? Why none other than Spike Lee?
John Woo. Oh.
Not John Woo.
John Woo is always the answer.
That would have been a very fun music video. But no, he hired Spike Lee. So the music video for They Don't Care About Us is a Spike Lee joint. Mm-hmm. Director Spike Lee, he did Do the Right Thing and...
other things.
Many other things. He recently he did Black Klansman. Mm-hmm. He was nominated for an Oscar for that. He is a great filmmaker, like great writer, great director. Like he has things to say. So it's like I feel like the energy of this song is the energy of Spike Lee. Like he's perfect to do a music video for this song.
Yeah.
So not only did he direct a music video for this song, he directed two of them.
I didn't realize he did both.
He did both. There are 2 music videos for completely different, entirely different music videos for They Don't Care About Us. They are both directed by Spike Lee, and I think they tell different stories. So we're gonna talk about them for a little bit. The first one was dubbed the prison video. Okay, it is,
as you would suspect, in a prison.
Yeah, it's set in a prison. Michael Jackson is in his cell, and sometimes he's at the mess hall with the other inmates, and like he's trying to start I don't know if he's trying to start a prison riot, but he's trying to get the chant going, and all the inmates are like chanting like, they don't really care about us.
Yeah.
And Michael's like dancing in his jail cell, like, is he tearing out the walls and stuff?
No, the walls are blue.
He's just dancing. There's a lot of use of green screen, chroma key, which I thought was like, where's the money at? Like the other music video was filmed on film. It didn't seem like this one was filmed with film, but that's neither here nor there. The prison video is also intercut, very similar to like Man in the Mirror or something, right? With like archive footage of police attacking African Americans, including the Rodney King film.
Right.
Military crackdown of the protest in Tiananmen Square, with the tank.
Yeah.
The Ku Klux Klan, war crimes, genocide, execution, martial law, and other human rights abuses. So, it's a very striking music video because it's showing all these like horrific images. And like, oh my gosh. And Spike Lee does not shy away from such things. Like, he's like, nope, we're going to put this in the music video, and we're to scare people, and we're going to get people riled up.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
That's what I do. I do it well.
I think it is a good video. Like, it tells a good story, but also it's a little cheap.
Yeah, I think since he was doing 2 and the other one is shot on location, he was like, where is the money gonna go? Because the other one has a lot more extras that need to be paid.
Speaking of that second video, the second video was titled the Brazil video.
Yes.
And there's continuity between the videos. We discovered that. So at the end of the prison video, Michael seems to have escaped prison. He's now running through the streets of Rio de Janeiro.
Yep.
And that's where the second video takes place. It takes place
in Rio de Janeiro, on the streets in Brazil.
It takes place in Salvador and Rio de Janeiro of Brazil. So I was reading about, and you want to describe that video for us?
It's a community video. It's a video where rally. I feel like it's a rally video where like there are just people in the streets, and there are instruments like bands and people, like all the drumming you hear is done like live. You see,
it's a lot of diegetic music too, in addition to the backing tracks.
Yeah, and it's just Michael in the streets singing, with the people around him also like joining in. At one point, a woman glomps him.
Yeah,
I don't know that was
that was real. Like a woman dancing in the street with him just like ran past the Brazilian authorities, and tackled him to the ground, like, trying to hug him because she's like just so overwhelmed with emotion that she had to be pulled away.
Yeah, by Spike Lee.
yeah. A cameo by Spike Lee in the video. So I was reading about the making of that video, but it's like producing the Brazil video proved difficult as state authorities tried to ban the singer from filming on location. Officials in the state of Rio feared images of poverty may affect tourism and accused Michael Jackson of exploiting the poor. A judge even banned all filming, but this ruling was overruled by an injunction. So it was difficult to make it happen. I think it's an affecting and effective video because it has a hopeful tone.
Yeah, this one does have a hopeful tone.
Yeah, because like compared to obviously the prison video is like very like shocking. Showing all these like very scary images of like real life brutality. Whereas the Brazil video, it's like, yeah, he's depicting poverty, but it's almost like a community coming together and like celebrating together with Michael.
Yeah.
To say like, no, yeah, we're oppressed. Yeah, we're like beaten down, but we still have each other.
Yeah. Like, we can, if we band together, do something more and not be stuck here.
Yeah, so it's almost like a movement. That's why I was like, it seems like very much like a rally or an anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I liked that video.
I'd like to too. And in 2020, Spike Lee put together a third music video for They Don't Care About Us that incorporates pieces of both the Brazil and the prison versions.
We didn't watch that.
as well as footage from various Black Lives Matter protests that had occurred around the world at that time.
I would like to see that.
I saw that I saw that yesterday when I was doing my research, and it is quite an affecting video.
Yeah, I bet.
And it is very much a Spike Lee driven
Joint.
video. It's like, yeah, Spike Lee, like that's what he would do.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's perfect. And like,
I'm gonna watch that once this is done.
yeah, the
I'm adding it to my playlist for this month.
both the prison version and this new version here that he made in 2020 feature like a disclaimer at the beginning of the video. Both this new the new video features the same quote, so I'm going to read that out loud. It said, "This film is not degrading to any one race, but pictorializes the injustices of all mankind. May God grant us peace throughout the world." And that is attributed to Michael Jackson. And I was like, that is very good.
I think it's probably something that he had to do since all the people jumped on the song.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
saying. It's a
He
shame
was like,
that
I
it
want to
had,
make sure that
it's a
my
shame-
message is out.
Yeah, it's a shame that had controversy, because I think it clouds the actual meaning of the song.
Yeah.
So, very good song.
Very good song.
Very
I
good
enjoy
song.
that.
Let's move on to a different song of a very different subject matter, but it's equally
It's not
heavy.
equal.
It's,
Okay.
It's heavy in a different way.
Okay.
And that song's called DS. Not Nintendo DS.
Oh dear.
DS.
Get out.
They wanna get my ass dead or alive. You know he really tried to take me down. I bet he missing the
So DS, that is quite a groove. It's a fun sounding song, right? Divorced from its lyrics, you don't know what this song's about. You're just like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
a jam.
Yeah. You're so cute.
Like a quick. This is another song that features Slash of Guns N' Roses. Just want to point that out there before I get into what this song is about. So, I'm going to discuss some topics that may be relate back to Michael Jackson's controversies of 1993. If you feel like you don't want to hear about that controversy, I would suggest skipping ahead to
2 hours, 18 minutes, 3 seconds.
and just skip this song altogether because we didn't want to talk about it, but Michael wrote a song about it, so we have to talk about it.
We didn't have to. I could have chosen a different song.
Okay, so let me play the.
I would have, but you really wanted to talk about it.
Let's talk about the. I'm gonna play the chorus from this song. Okay, sounds like this.
They wanna get my ass dead or alive. You know he really tried to take me down. I bet he missing with the CIA. He don't do everything say. Don't stand on the gold man. Don't stand on the gold man. Don't stand on the gold man.
So what he said there was, he really tried to take me down by surprise. I bet he missioned with the CIA. He don't do half what he say. Dom Sheldon is a cold man. Dom Sheldon is a cold man. And he repeats that over and over again, right? Who is Dom Sheldon?
My lyrics say it's Ton Schnedden.
That's incorrect. The lyrics are Dom Sheldon because this is not confirmed by any Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson didn't confirm this, but the lyrics have been interpreted as a reference to former Santa Barbara County District Attorney Thomas W. Schnedden Jr., or simply Tom Schnedden.
Who's he?
And you hear that because like Dom Sheldon is a cold man. He doesn't sound like he's even saying Sheldon.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's saying Schnedden. Like he's just straight up saying it. Just to prove the point even more, let me play another version of that. Let me play another version of that chorus where it sounds like, because Dom Schnedden, right? It's a character. Like the song is the subject of this song is a character named Dom S. Sheldon, right? And I guess the interpretation is when you say Dom S. Sheldon really quickly, it sounds like Thomas Schnedden. So I'm gonna play a port there where he says like, Dom S. Sheldon is a cold man. Right there.
Yeah.
Right. Thomas Sheldon is a cold, but he just sounds like Thomas Schneiden is a cold man.
Yeah.
So, who is Tom Schneiden? Okay. There's another point in the lyrics where he says, Michael says, he outshock in every single way. He'll stop at nothing just to get his political say. He think he bad because he's BSTA. That's what the official lyrics say. Mm-hmm. But people say when he says BSTA really quickly, it just sounds like SBDA, Santa Barbara District Attorney. So Tom Schneiden led the investigation into Jackson following the 1993 accusations of child sexual abuse against him. Okay? Mm-hmm. He was the guy in charge. Okay? So again, Michael wrote this song specifically about that terrible time in his life.
Yeah.
And it's like, he invited this discussion.
Right.
As part of the investigation, Jackson's home in Neverland Ranch was raided, searched by police, and Jackson was subjected to a strip search of his body, which he said in interviews was highly invasive and like he hated, like he was like, it was the like most humiliating thing in my life, right? To have to undress in front of police officers and be like, I don't know,
searched,
inspected. Yeah. I think that was like the biggest resentment for him. He's like, yeah, this Tom Schneiden guy instructed his men to do this to me.
Yeah.
When, he was pleading innocence.
Yeah.
Jackson was not charged, and the police closed their investigation, citing lack of evidence. Just got to point that out there. That's the official end of that. And Jackson settled with the accuser's family out of court in January 1994. So that's the end of that story. But this is totally just a hate song. It's a hit song on this guy that wronged him.
Yeah.
Anything about the lyrics that jumped out to you?
I wanted to know what BSTA and just to I now get he wants your vote just to remain the TA. I put a question mark there, but it's DA. I get it.
I think like lyrically, it's like he wrote him down. He wrote TA to like cover his butt. It's like it's not about you. It's about Dom Sheldon,
who wants to remain the teacher's assistant.
Yeah.
I will say the verse that has that in it, I would just put as an old boy, because it says, you think he brothered with the KKK? I know his mother never taught him the right way. He wants your vote just to remain the DA. He don't do half of what he say. And I was like, okay, come from a family then.
Michael is like just
angry,
throwing mud at this guy. Yeah. Like I wrote that too. He's like, I bet he brothered with the KKK. I was like, ooh. So that would get you in legal trouble if you said that.
Yeah.
Maybe, defamation perhaps. That's why it's not Thomas Sheldon. It's Dom Schneiden.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? There was a Two Live Crew song. Remember Two Live Crew? Two Live Crew was a band that they were a rap group in late 80s, early 90s, and they wrote songs that were very explicit, sexually explicit lyrics, right? Like very filthy, okay? Mm-hmm. They were charged with obscenity, like officially. Mm-hmm. Like I think it was a Florida like court or something charged them with obscenity, which is something that you don't normally get charged for with music, right?
Right.
So they said, yes, your lyrics are obscene, and you should be put in jail for these obscene lyrics or whatever, right? The guy that put I think it was the governor who like pushed for the charges, right? And his last name was Martinez. So they wrote a song after they were freed from, they succeeded in their lawsuit, right? They came out victorious. They wrote a song after that just called F Martinez. And the chorus is just like repeating like F Martinez, F Martinez, right? They were able to claim that the song was not about the Governor Martinez because they got multiple like laymen with the same name to sign releases saying that, yes, it was okay for it's about me. So it's just like they circumvented defamation charges by saying, no, the song is about a different Martinez. Dom Schneider sounds similar.
Yeah.
Dom
like
Sheldon.
getting away with it because it's barely legal.
Yeah. So Michael's angry. He's willing to press the envelope on this one.
Yeah.
Call this man a member of the KKK. He wasn't taught right with his mom.
He didn't say member of the KKK, saying his brother was. And his mom taught him no good sense.
Yeah. Thomas Schneiden's bio on his website currently states that he is the, quote, only DA in the nation to have an angry song written about him by pop megastar Michael Jackson. He took it with pride.
Okay, sure.
And the antagonist mayor character in Michael Jackson's short film Ghosts, who was played by Michael Jackson himself in heavy makeup and prosthetics, was intentionally made to look like Thomas Schneider.
Wow.
This was a grudge that Michael held on for years.
Yeah. There was no coming back for that.
Yep. And so, like, there's just a bunch of weird legacy stuff with this song where, like, fans took this song and made it, like, an angry, like, song that's meant to, like, target anyone who accuses Michael of wrongdoing.
Huh.
DS was sung by Jackson fans outside the courthouse during the singer's 2005 criminal trial, for example, in which Tom Schneider was the lead prosecutor once again.
Gosh.
So they met in the courtroom once again.
And just outside, just walking. Tom Schneider is a cold man.
As he's like walking into the courthouse, like, Tom Schneider, you're a cold man.
Oh, man.
And this one is also weird. In 2018, a fan remix titled Wade Robson is a Cold Man was written in response to new allegations by Australian dancer and choreographer Wade Robson, who was a subject in the 2019 documentary Leaving Neverland. I don't want to talk too much about that.
No.
If you care to, you could watch that for yourself. But let's just say Michael Jackson fans decided to respond to those allegations by writing just a remix called Wade Robson is a Cold Man.
Well,
It's weird.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on DS? I feel like I was like that. This is when people say history is Michael Jackson's like most personal album. This is a song you can point to. It's like, yep, he's writing about the issues in his life.
Yeah.
The things that confronted him at the time. And it's like, yep, when you think about Michael Jackson in the mid 90s, what was he dealing with? He was dealing with
Sleep paralysis.
He was dealing with these criminal allegations, and he is writing songs about them and how it made him feel. Let's move on.
Okay.
The next song we're going to talk about is a song Jess is a huge fan of. It's called Stranger in Moscow. I really like this song a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Just musically, it's such a pretty song. I love it's low key. It has like a nice like film-esque backing melody. You know, it's just synths kind of just like lifting Michael away as he sings an emotional song about how he's feeling that day or whatever. But you don't like it.
No, not really.
So I wanted to challenge you. We can talk music for a second. We'll talk lyrics, but like. We had a conversation, and I think this song proved that discussing like Michael Jackson songs that you're not a fan of is difficult, right? I think it leads to friction. Michael has that effect on people. Makes it very passionate. I don't know.
You're the passionate one.
I'm the passionate one. But I challenged you. I wanted you to, because when you described this song to me, you called it what?
Boring.
And I said, what makes it boring? I was just curious. Like, I was like, can you challenge yourself to say, like, what is it about this particular song that makes it boring? Or what makes a boring song?
And I didn't do that homework because I had a hard week. So off the top of my head, it just is. Like, I don't necessarily have a criteria for it, right? I'm a pretty middle of the road person. I'm not very interesting. I'm boring when you get to know me. So I don't feel deeply about stuff that I just like. So it's boring. I just don't care. The melody is fine. It's whatever, but I'm going to forget it as soon as the song is over. The lyrics say nothing and have no continuity other than repeating how does it feel. And that to me is boring. It is. And it's not.
It doesn't, there's no way for you to relate to it?
I don't know that it's like, really, because there are songs that I like that I don't relate to, and I like because, oh, that was a really great note, or, oh, it was, it just doesn't, literally nothing for me. It just doesn't do anything for me. And I'm not saying it's a bad song. Like, obviously you like it, and obviously there are a lot of people who do like it. It's just boring, and I don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, so you said the lyrics don't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Allow me to present my...
Go ahead. I asked you when we were listening to it. I was good.
I did some research. I looked at it. I said, okay, I tried to put myself in Michael's shoes. Like, Michael, what are you trying to say? Okay. So I looked it up. Stranger in Moscow was written by Michael Jackson in September 1993 when on the Dangerous World Tour stop in Moscow. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this song was written in Moscow. Michael Jackson was the stranger in Moscow.
Got it.
The lyrics are based on a poem that he wrote at that time.
Okay.
So there are a few things, like, so I picked out some lyrics here. So, I was a stranger in the rain, mask of life feeling insane. Swift and sudden fall from grace, sunny days seem far away. Okay. Michael Jackson, you have to understand what he was going through in 1993. You got your allegations, your health problems, your several different things, right? He's, I think, putting words to the emotions that he's feeling in 1993. Mm-hmm. Feeling insane, right? He's been called insane for over a decade.
Yeah.
So that's probably weighing on him. Swift and sudden fall from grace. He was the king of pop. Mm-hmm. And now these allegations have people questioning his everything.
Right,
his role, his position, all that stuff, right? Sunny days seem far away. It's a very childish line. Whatever, that's fine. Not particularly deep, but one could say Michael Jackson is sad. Mm-hmm. So,
Michael Jackson is sad.
So when you say the lyrics, like, don't mean anything, I think that it's like, they clearly mean something about his emotional state. The question is, how effective is he at presenting those ideas? And you're saying, like, he's not effective.
No. Not, at least not to me. I feel like in the same way, Why You Gotta Trip on Me is saying those same things. Like, maybe the mind state is a little different. It's less depressive and more, like, angry or agitated.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess the melody in there does it for me more.
I think
or
the mood is
something.
different.
The mood is different. I don't have anything against, like, sad or depressed songs. I typically prefer them, but the presentation here does, like, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And nothing in this makes me care enough to, like, dig. So let's move to the next song kind of thing.
Yeah. So, like, for me, like, you mentioned Why You Want to Trip on Me, which is from Dangerous in 91, right? So I feel like it is the same emotions fueling both, but, like, Why You Want to Trip on Me was more confrontational.
Yeah.
Whereas this was more, like, contemplative and, like, it's all about isolation, feeling isolated and lonely, right? You hear stories about Michael Jackson, like, he would, like, walk the lonely streets at night looking for friends because he felt so lonely and isolated. He's like, yeah, he was a megastar and everyone knew his name and who he was, but he didn't feel close to anybody, right? So the imagery that he talks about with Stranger in Moscow is like, I was wandering alone in the rain, right? That calls to mind an image of Michael Jackson walking alone in the street at night, just looking for someone to connect to and just finding nobody and just feeling more isolated than he's ever felt. He's in a new place, like a foreign place. unfamiliar place.
I think it has a little bit too much John Myung in it.
of Dream Theater.
It's undeveloped. So like I'm like, okay, I can see that as you're talking to me, but there's not enough here for me to have like because like some of the lyrics are also like Kremlin's shadow belittling me, Stalin's tomb won't let me. I was like, when did the Cold War end? I had to like look because I was like, what are we talking about? What? I'm lonely because Stalin's not here anymore. Like it's like one of those things. I wrote a poem. Cool. Workshop that before you put it to music.
That's fair. Let me play that clip of him talking about the using the Russian imagery, and then I'll talk about it. So, the way I interpret that is he's using Russian imagery and symbolism to underscore senses of fear and isolation. Okay. Now, the Cold War has ended in 1995. It's over. Ended.
Been done.
Yeah. The fall of the Soviet Union was happening late 80s, early 90s. Okay. So the Cold War is over, but I think the anxieties that were produced during the Cold War exist on, right? I've talked about a little bit of like people I know who lived through that time talked about like, yeah, it was a unique type of anxiety knowing that at any point in time, Russia could launch a nuke at you and just kill everybody. It was like scary. And like Russia was like this boogeyman, right? The Soviet Union was like this weird boogeyman for a lot of people, right? And so I think what Michael is trying to do is use the imagery of the Kremlin, Stalin's tomb, the KGB to like emphasize the feelings of isolation and pressure, and fear, right? Because during the Cold War, people were scared of those images, right? Michael isn't necessarily like literally scared of the Kremlin and the KGB. Well, the KGB were dogging me. I don't think he's literally scared of those things, but he's using the fear of those things that I'm sure still existed in 1995 to reflect his own fear of like everything, the unknown, his own loneliness, right? It's just like people are scared of these other foreign forces beyond their understanding. I have a similar anxiety, but it's more internal. It's something because the layman's not going to understand or relate to Michael Jackson's feelings of isolation as being the biggest superstar in the world, but not feeling like you're close to anybody. I don't know. I can't necessarily put myself in those shoes.
And I'm not saying that like oh you're wrong and all those things, right? Like it's there and you've pulled it and you've presented it to me. And those are interesting themes and topics. I still find the presentation of this song like boring and because I think it, as much as you're saying, right, like it's hard for him to present, what is it? It's hard for him to try to like say, hey, I know I seem like I have a lot going on, but I'm really like, it's really hard for me. And I guess like 1995, the internet is what it is. We've just talked about it. And it's still like showing the big disparity between celebrities and the laymen, even though really celebrities are just laymen with money.
Yeah, they're like human beings, just like all of us.
Yeah, so we all have those feelings. Because I think like, even as you're saying, like, it's about like feeling alone. It's like, I freaking feel that. Like, that's not unique to him. That's a very real shared experience with between everybody in the human race, right? And not saying like this isn't a unique song, Michael, but it just kind of like you don't how it's presented doesn't
work for you.
No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. And even like as I was just like, okay, that's sad. I wish you had better people in your life that like would make you feel more comforted. But this song doesn't do it for me, which is fine.
Yeah, and I'm not
like
saying
sometimes you just got to do a song for you, like. Yeah.
So I appreciate your perspective on this.
The lack of perspective.
Let's talk about the music video, because the song also had a music video, and I think you were equally unenthused about it.
So unenthused. The music video was the worst part because I couldn't even hear the lyrics, which is why I pulled up the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, we didn't even talk about that. So you made that complaint to me when we were watching the music videos. Like, all these, like, I can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, the mixing is terrible. Like, the music is higher, the instrumentals are higher than his voice, or louder than his voice, so I can't hear what he's saying clearly at all.
And I said that is a unique problem in Michael Jackson's later albums, because I had the same problem with Dangerous, right? It's like, I love Dangerous. I thought those songs were great. But when I listened to it in my car, his voice is mixed lower than a lot of the percussion and the instruments, which I think is a problem. And I can only speculate, but I think that he wanted it that way. It was his choice, because so Quincy Jones and Michael, like, Quincy Jones was like his longtime producer. They parted ways after Bad.
Yeah.
So Dangerous and History are like Michael solo productions, right? I want to think that Quincy Jones was there to like help, fine tune the production and be like, no, Michael, your voice needs to be turned up a little louder, and he had that authority to say that. Whereas now Michael gets to make that choice, and he's like, nope, I want my voice to be lower. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why. He would maybe he's self-conscious.
To make people listen real hard.
I guess. I don't know the answer, but yeah, that is a problem in Michael's later releases, where it's like, Michael, turn yourself up.
Sir, we can't hear you.
I agree. That is a problem. I definitely agree with that. But let's talk about this music video. The music video was directed by photographer Nick Brandt, and it presents like 6 lonely people, and it's like little vignettes of all these people living in the same city, and they're all lonely, and it looks like it's like a lot of wayward shots of like them looking off into the distance, and just like there's like a woman sitting in a diner all by herself. She's drinking coffee, and she's just like looking out the window. Michael's walking the street alone. And there's like a homeless man who's like laying on the street, like, reaching out for people, but no one's paying any mind. Yeah. And I think the point of the music video, it's like, these are all 6 lonely people, and they're all feeling the exact same things that Michael feels. Sadness, isolation, loneliness, right? And I think the tragedy of the music video, it's like, they're all feeling lonely, but they all don't realize it's like, you all could just come together and meet each other.
Right now. Yeah. Over me.
Come together. That's another song that Michael sang on this album.
Yeah, I mean, that was the video. From what I remember. It was black and white.
It was in black and white. Very film-like. Noir. Almost.
Yeah. There were pigeons.
There were some weird digital pigeons. Green screen.
Yeah.
But my point is, I think the music video is effective, in my opinion, because it does present this loneliness is not unique to Michael. It applies to everybody. And yeah, Michael is one key part of the music video, but it relates to a bunch of different other characters. And I don't know, it just presents loneliness in a way that I can relate to and understand. Yeah. But not you.
No. I think I was just too distracted by how annoyed I was that I was like, the music video was just like, okay, whatever.
Let me change topics here for a second. Did you know that the instrumental portion of Stranger in Moscow is based on music that Michael Jackson and his team wrote for the 1994 video game Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
I did know that, so you don't have to talk anymore about it.
I'm going to talk about it for the listeners. So, the Sonic the Hedgehog and Michael Jackson involvement was like subject to weird rumor and innuendo for decades. Okay, the full story hadn't come out until just like the last 5 years, when people really dug in, asked the key people for the right facts, because there was a lot of he said, she said stuff. There was conflicting reports. And it was just like, did Michael Jackson write on Sonic the Hedgehog 3 or not? Okay, and people like, there was the rumor that he did, and then it's like, well, no, then he didn't. Right? It's like, Michael Jackson, yeah, he wrote on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And then it's like, no, he didn't. Well, what's true, right? And then people listen to songs from Sonic 3 and were like, I don't know, that kind of sounds like a Michael Jackson jam. Let me give you an example. So I'm going to play the credits theme to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It sounds like this. So people hear that and they're like, that sounds like Stranger in Moscow. Like the chord progression of the notes of the melody. They're like, that sounds like the backing parts to Stranger in Moscow. And just to really hammer it home, I've got myself a remix from YouTube by Yuzo Boy, who mixed them together. And here's what it sounds like. A little subtle, but they match up. The song they do.
You want to know how little I care about this song?
What?
When you started playing it, I thought it was the Sonic part at the very beginning, and then more electronic beats came out. I was like, oh, that was Stranger in Moscow. That's how little I care. I've already forgotten what it sounds like, and we're still having this conversation. Continue.
So
they do meld very nicely together.
So people are like, did Michael write the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 credits music and then reuse it for Stranger in Moscow? So there's like, and there were no answers for decades, right?
Only questions.
Yeah, for like 15 years, they're like, so did he write it or not? Where's the story? And then you hear like Ice Cap Zone from Sonic 3, and you're like, that sounds like a Michael Jackson tune. What's going on? Mm-hmm. Jam. There's a song that sounds like Jam. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Right.
And they're just like, what's going on? So a lot of great like investigative reporters have gone in and done the hard work, and they talk to the right people and they ask the right questions. Here's the story to the best of my ability.
Give me the scoop.
Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. A fan of the Sonic series. Mm-hmm. He loves Sonic the Hedgehog. He loves video games. He also worked with Sega to make Moonwalker, the video game.
Right.
He was brought in by Sega to compose music for the game in 1993.
Okay.
That is not disputed. There were members of the Sonic team here in North America that said, yes, we brought Michael in to come view Sonic 2 when it was, being developed, and like people were like, just to show it to him because he was such a big Sonic fan. Mm-hmm. Like he, toured the studio and had some fun. And then someone said, it would be great if you could write some music for the next Sonic game. And he seemed very enthusiastic about it. So Michael Jackson employed a team of his regular collaborators, including his musical director and tour keyboardist, Brad Buxer, for the project. So Michael brought in his A-team to help him with the Sonic project.
Okay.
Reportedly, the team worked for 4 weeks developing fully fledged tracks with extensive samples of Michael Jackson beatboxing, so to be simplified and compressed for the Sega Genesis.
Cool.
Right, for use in Sonic 3. All those songs were submitted in mid-1993 to the Sonic team, okay? And here's where the contradictions start, okay? While Buxer is credited in Sonic 3, right, Michael's musical director,
right,
he's credited in the music, Michael Jackson is not. Mm-hmm. And people are like, why not? If he wrote the songs, why is he not credited? And there are conflicting reports on why that's the case. One story said that Jackson's involvement was downplayed purposely by Sega in the final game due to the 1993 allegations. Others say that Jackson requested that he be uncredited because he was unhappy with how the Sega Genesis sounded and how it replicated his music. Brad Buxer, the guy who worked with Michael Jackson, said the latter case. Mm-hmm. Michael heard his songs played out of a Genesis and was like, it's not up to my standards. No, thank you. So yes, Michael Jackson did write music for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And Stranger in Moscow, as confirmed by Brad Buxer, the early version of Stranger in Moscow was the credit themes for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay. He was like, well, I have these musics. I can still use them.
Exactly. And so basically they like, hey, we wrote these really great chord progressions for the Sonic game. Let's reuse that for Stranger in Moscow.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
Oh, Sonic trivia. Stop trying to backdoor this.
And we're going to close out our show here with the last song. Jess, is this your favorite song?
Like, off of this album, yeah?
Yeah. Favorite song off this album? It is Earth Song.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fear?
I was like, I talked about Stranger in Moscow being a pretty song. Mm-hmm. This is an equally pretty song.
The song is very pretty.
Very pretty. Like, it has that film score sound in the back there. It's like very dramatic.
Yeah.
I love it. This is a great song.
It is a great song. I agree.
I can be enthusiastic about this song and share it with you.
Oh, thank you.
What is this song about?
The Earth.
Environmentalism?
It is about environmentalism. It's about the things that we are not taking care of on the planet that we live in.
Would you consider Michael Jackson a Greenpeace fanatic?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Unapologetic. He wouldn't even defend himself.
He's like, yes, I always wear a piece of green on me.
And this is not the first environmental song that we talked about for Media Made. Like, Man in the Mirror, it fits this bill. We didn't talk about it for Dangerous, but he did We Are the World, which also fit, but that was before.
We did talk about some environmental nature on
Heal the World. Yeah, we didn't talk about Heal the World when we talked about Dangerous, but that was another song where it's like deals with the exact same topics here.
Right. He's got some like repeating themes on albums, right? Like he does have like environmental songs. He also has Paparazzi Be Chasing Me songs.
Yep.
And a Can We Please Pay Attention to Black Lives songs.
He has a very like
formulaic.
No, it's not.
It's not that.
But he has things that are important to him. That he touches on multiple times.
I totally get that. Who among us don't, right? I feel like I always hit this, right? The reason we talk about those songs in each Michael Jackson episode is because those are also important to me.
Yeah. So like, I don't have a whole lot of like lyrics that I put in. I have a few because I feel like the song is very explicit about what it's talking about.
Yeah.
Right. It's like there's no ambiguity. It's like, hey, the world is dying and we need to fix it. Like right now, right? I'm sure Michael Jackson was paying attention to the climate news of the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I like some of the song even sounds like hope. I don't know. It sounds like hopeless or like bewilderment, right? He says, what have we done to the world? Look what we've done.
And what do we keep doing? Like,
what about all the peace that you pledged to your only son?
Yeah. And he gets like we said earlier, right? Like he has two forms of like making a point, and this is the gospel one. Yeah. Like I don't know that he actually has gospel like singers back him up in this one. He does.
Okay, let me on that note, let me tell you the two like musically this song has like two very like distinct
movements.
It's like almost three of them, but right, like I'm gonna play right here. It is the best drop in Michael Jackson's career, right? Like the music just like straight up, just like you're just like
builds
I'm
and
in
ready for it.
Yeah, it's like a crescendo.
Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth as we make sure?
Yeah, that always gets the deep nod.
It's the one in Man in the Mirror is also very good, but I think this one's more powerful.
Yeah, that's why, like, honestly, of his like, Please Save the World songs, this is my favorite.
This one hits the hardest.
It does. It just does. Like, and even like the movements as you get farther, like I'm just reading the lyrics and I'm reading them in his screaming tone.
Yeah. So
because
at about 4 minutes in, like the choir comes in and it becomes the same like gospel stuff that we've heard before. Like, will you be there? Like he introduced the gospel like sound, right? And I feel like Michael grew up. I think his mom was a Jehovah's Witness, but I'm sure he has a strong Baptist background as well. You know, like, I think it's just where he grew up. I feel like with those songs, it's like, hey, when the gospel choir comes in, that's for a large group of people. That means like, take this seriously.
Yeah.
Get emotionally invested in this part of the song.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about gospel. It's like so participatory.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like it's really interesting to be said because in his other songs, the gospel is like singing words of exaltation. This one is wailing.
Yeah.
Like the gospel there is there to wail as if the God himself is wailing for the state of the earth, the state of this gift that he's given to us and that we have torn apart and continue to tear apart.
Yeah, let's hear this choir. What about us?
What about apathy?
So the choir call and response chant in the climax of the song was sung by Andre Crouch's choir. They have a Wikipedia article. Andre Crouch's choir. I think it's the same choir that sang in Will You Be There.
Well, there's great choir. I would have reused them too.
Any other lyrics you want to point out for the song?
I think like the lyrically, right, there are places. So at the very beginning, I'd like highlighted 2 couplets from the first couple stanzas. What about all the things that you said we were to gain? And then following that, what about all the things you said were yours and mine? And then later down just a little bit, what about all the dreams you said were yours and mine? And these like kind of things, these questions that are posed to this you, right, are, I think, tell a small little story, right? The first one, what about all the things you said we were to gain? Like, hey, we're in this and I agreed to do this with you. What about the things that you said that we're going to be positive, that me and you were going to come out on top, that we were going to be able to? And it's not a me and you. I think it's like you and us as the world, us as humanity. What about the things you said that in moving forward in this industrial situation,
industrialization?
Thank you. This industrialization, how it was going to help us, how we were going to be able to do more for sciences, help more people, help poverty, help these things. And the second part is, what about all the things you said were yours and mine? Okay, failing that we were to gain. If we started like separating ways, fine. But like in this grand scheme of things where all of us were to prosper, where are the things that we talked about that we're going to go to you for prospering, we're going to go to us for prospering? Like, what about all of these things? And then the last part, what about all the dreams you said were yours and mine? And this, I wrote a note that says, when you realize you were a pawn and not a partner.
Yep.
And it just feels very like,
yeah, it's really quite interesting. It's a little miracle that both of the albums that we talked about today deal with these topics, right?
Yeah.
Because the song doesn't just cover environmentalism. It also talks about like the scars of war and poverty, you know, the other humanitarian efforts that Michael Jackson was involved in. You know, it's like that's the same thing freaking Ayreon was thinking about. Yeah. You know, it's like this is a global issue, and a lot of creatives were worried about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like I think like it's coming out of the 80s where like there was a lot of like hopefulness. You know, I talked about it, like a lot of 80s optimism, right? The 80s optimism turned into like
dad guilt.
Dad guilt and cynicism.
Yeah.
It's like Michael is almost like cynical in this song. Like he is still hopeful and is still like fired up and passionate. But at the same time, he's just like, what about everything we talked about? Like what's happened? Yeah. You know, it's almost like we sang about this a decade ago with We Are the World. Yeah. That's almost like this is a come down from We Are the World. It's like it's like, hey, remember We Are the World? Remember when the whole music industry all came together for Live Aid to raise money for the for starving children in Africa? It was like a unified effort. We were all on board. The government was involved. People bought the single. Everyone was gung ho about this issue. What happened? Yeah. Where'd everyone go? Yeah. Why are we not caring now?
So me being who I am, like, would follow this song and the track listed with "They Don't Really Care About Us." Ah. So, you know, where you're just like, it's just like that hopefulness, and then that like, guys, come on, and then that realization of, oh, this is why it's not moving forward.
Gotta get angry.
Cause you just gotta wrap your way in. Yeah. And even in this, like, there are like a couple other things that I want to say about, like, lyrically. I know it's like the song is very in your face. You're just not very, like, you're not pulling from it. I just want to highlight, or I'm not breaking it down like we had to do Moscow, but I just would like to highlight things that are just like, yeah, that. There was a couple of verses. One, like the third verse. Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, these weeping shores? And I wrote, like, seeing the price of the deal that you made to have more, right? Like, did we like, as we are expanding our territory, did we notice all the blood that we shed? As we are bringing monetary value to our country by building new things and making and farming for oil and all these things, did we notice that, like, our shores are weeping, that our earth is like, in our trek to get these things that you said we were to gain, did we notice what we were destroying?
It's almost like, do the benefits of tearing down the rainforest outweigh the horror, like the horrors of the fact that we're destroying the environment?
Yeah, like, in that, this next, like, thing is exactly what that word. It's like, when the world have we done? Look at what we done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? And my note here is, when you get to the end and you're finally able to determine if the means were truly justified.
Yep. I was like, man, Michael, you're saying what we're all thinking.
You are. And then it just, at the end, I just wrote some strong words. The heavens are falling down. I can't even breathe. What about apathy? What about forest trails burnt despite our pleas?
It's like a long list.
What about the Holy Land torn apart by creed? There's, like, a bunch of stuff that I'm missing.
He just keeps going and going and going and going.
He's just like, oh, it's like the thing where it's just kind of like, no, I'm going to enumerate the things that you've not been thinking about.
Yeah.
The things that are like, and it's just, and that's the part that really has me. I'm always, like, almost on my knees for the song, rocking, just, what about everything? Like, you just want to scream with him, because there's so many things I feel like in our own lives. Like, there are times where, like, things are happening. I'm like, but what about this? You know? So yep. I think that this is why the song is, like, my favorite on this album. It's my favorite of his call to action songs, because I feel like it really does, like, make you stop and think. Like, that's the action. Like, stop and think about it for a second.
Yep.
Because if you truly think about it, you wouldn't stand still.
So there is a music video for Earth Song, also directed by Nick Brandt, the guy who did Stranger in Moscow.
Okay.
But before we talk about it, I want to highlight one more lyric that I thought was interesting. It's at the beginning where he's just like, what about flowering fields? Is there a time, right? I was like, the flowery fields line seems so childlike to me. Mm-hmm. Like, Michael's appealing to, like, the child in everybody, right? It's like, if we don't do anything now, like, there will be no flowery fields for us to, like, frolic through, right? Because that's a very Michael Jackson thing. It's like, you know,
true.
We can have a picnic out in the fields if this continues.
If the bees are dead,
right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, another common theme throughout this album that we really don't talk about all that much, but, like, how Michael Jackson was robbed of a childhood.
Yeah,
there's a whole song about it. It's called Childhood, and it's the theme song to Free Willy 2.
We didn't like it.
We did not. That song's horrible. But
sorry, Michael.
Yeah, the subject matter makes sense and is, you know, valid for what he's going through. It's like, he's like, hey, if you think I'm weird, you have to understand, I was never given a childhood. Mm-hmm. The reason I have a Ferris wheel in my backyard is because I was robbed of my childhood. My childhood was taken from me.
Yeah.
So when I see the lyrics, like, what about flowering fields? Like, he's almost like saying, like, hey, if we don't do something now,
every childhood will be robbed.
It's like no one will have a childhood anymore. It's like you're gonna kill people's childhoods and like the wonderment of the world.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, Michael, props to you.
What about yesterday?
So the music video, we did watch that, and it's a really cool, great music video.
Yep. It's really well done.
It's basically presenting 4 different, like, geographic regions, all responding to, like, I don't know, it's almost like the energy of the song, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of quiet and somber at the beginning, you know, at the beginning of the song. And the 4 regions are the African rainforest, of which a large part was destroyed just 1 week after the video's completion.
Ooh.
A war zone in Croatia, Tasmania, and Warwick, New York. So it's sort of like, you know, 4 diverse areas in the world.
Yeah.
And they're all dealing with the similar thing. It's like they're being threatened by the movement of industrialization
Yeah.
or of war or of hunger and famine,
Yeah.
all that stuff, right? And Michael, it all starts out as like, it sets the scene. Michael is singing his sad moments, and then like as the song ramps up towards the end, the earth is like taking the power back.
Yeah.
The earth is fighting back as Michael is like just like screaming and the choir's
Yeah.
going and
Winds are whipping and reversing the movement of time. Trees are being unfelled. Tanks are being pushed back.
yeah, and like Michael is like grabbing onto the roots of trees. It is like, you know, like it's almost like Michael's like emotions are like willing the world to like reverse itself.
Yeah.
And there's like, you know, tremors and earthquakes, and the earth is like trying to heal itself.
Yeah, it's a beautiful video.
Great video.
There's some imagery in it that's like terrifying, or not terrifying, but like really sad. Like when you're like, what about this scene? There's like images of like people cutting down trees, but also like hunting animals and
Like Willie.
yeah. Well, I was specifically the sea baby thing in the head,
Oh yeah.
which you don't really see. Like they cut it before
Yeah, there's like
they see, but it's like a lot of like imagery that's just kind of like, what about it, you know, like giving a moment of time to these things that he's
Yep.
pressed about.
Speaking of the tank, because like the Croatia part with the tanks, like, you know, wars rolling through Croatia and stuff, that relates back to like performances that Michael has done for this song, which are actually really cool. Like I feel like whenever he does Earth Song, he always like brings in a lot of theatrics to the song because it means so much to him.
Yeah.
There is a performance of Earth Song where he straight up brought a tank in, and a tank is like basically I think the song slows down and like Michael invites like children to like hold his hands, like, and they're all like creating a chain of humanity like across the stage, and they're all singing together and holding it, and then a tank rolls through and it's gonna like run over everybody and the kids run away, and Michael steps in front of the tank and like tries to put a stop to it, and Michael, through his empathy or whatever,
Captain Planet.
he moves the soldiers in the tank to get out of the tank and stand with him. It's like, it's on the nose, but I was like, it's fine. It's a Michael Jackson performance. Let him have it. It's pretty cool.
That does sound pretty cool. The song is really cool.
It is a great song. This was the last song Michael Jackson ever performed, as he was rehearsing it on June 24th, 2009, hours before his death. So this is, it is apropos that we talk about this song as the last song that we talk about from Michael Jackson and
On
Minnie
the
Maid,
show.
because this is our last Michael Jackson album.
Yeah.
That's
Sad.
history, past, present, and future, book 1. Would you recommend it?
Yes, 100%. Well, yes. Just listen through it.
I would too. I think it's an okay, like, it's not Michael's best album. It's not as good as
not.
Dangerous. It's not as good as Bad. It's not as good as Thriller. It has half good songs on it. The second half is definitely weaker. There's a lot of like, what is this?
Yes,
There's-
but it does have Earth Song.
Yeah, Earth Song's great. It has like Childhood and Little Susie and Smile, and it's just like, Michael, this is not good.
Yeah. It's not his best work, but it does have one of the best
Yeah,
songs on
it has a handful of like excellent songs. So I would
Yeah.
recommend it because it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But how did it get received by the critics? History, Past, Present, and Future Book 1 debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and the top R&B hip-hop albums chart, selling over 391,000 copies in the first week alone. By the end of 1995, the album sold more than 1.9 million units, which was actually lower than expectations, but still pretty high because it's Michael.
Yeah.
Overall, History has sold over 20 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling multiple disc release in history.
That tracks.
History received overall positive reception, but one more subdued than previous releases. AllMusic, for example, noted that the album's top-performing singles were, quote, well-crafted pop that ranks with his best material, but concludes that, quote, nevertheless, History Continues stands out as his weakest album since the mid-70s. And they're talking specifically about the second half of this. Because remember, this was a double album, and the first disc contained nothing but the hits.
Oh, yeah.
Billie Jeans and
Yeah,
Bad
yeah, yeah.
and Beat It, you know, all that stuff. On that note, like, many reviewers took to heart the fact that, you know, this album had a unique format with greatest hits on one disc and new material on the other. In fact, the inclusion of those greatest hits seemed to have inflated the reviews of the time. Entertainment Weekly, for example, gave History Begins, the greatest hits portion, an A- grade, but the album's new material a C-, which, quote, winds up a B for the entire album. They commented that the music, quote, rarely seems to transport him, being Michael, and thereby us, the listener, to a higher plane.
Rarely, but when it does, what a pain.
Nevertheless, History is often recognized as Michael Jackson's most personal album.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, for example, said that it, quote, unfolds in Jackson's outraged response to everything he has encountered in the last year or so. He touched on it all. We talked about it. The allegations, the world, his own emotions. It's all there.
Racism.
Yep. And the New York Times reviewed it as, quote, the testimony of a musician whose self-pity now equals his talent. I was like, I liked that for some reason. I was like, that's a quote.
That's a quote.
It's like, because we talked about
drag.
it with Bad, right? Where like he was writing songs that seemed inauthentic to Michael. It's like, Michael, you didn't do those things. You're not bad.
Sir, no.
But now Michael is sad, and
That's authentic.
yeah, this is Michael Jackson sad. History was nominated for 6 Grammy Awards, such as Best Pop Vocal Performance Male and Song of the Year for You Are Not Alone, Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals for Scream, Best Music Video Short Form for Earth Song, and Album of the Year overall. Scream ended up winning the Grammy for Best Music Video Short Form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Scream, we didn't talk about it. It's a pretty cool music video.
I mean, I guess.
It pioneered the late 2000s or like the
That's
late
fair.
90s, early 2000s turn-of-the-millennium look.
Yeah, that's
with
fair.
with the chrome and the weird mesh shirts and stuff. It was all there in Scream. We didn't even notice. It's like, hey, the late 90s, it's here
It's here.
in Scream.
Trendsetter.
And in 1998, the album was ranked number 96 in BBC's Music of the Millennium, a list of 100 albums voted as the best of the millennium.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good job, Mike.
I wonder if like it was like they had to have like ranked like classical compositions, right?
Sure.
I don't know. That's weird. Like millennium. We're talking like the year 1000 to 2000.
Sure.
Was Happy Birthday in there?
That is a song that people sing every day.
Jingle Bells.
Absolutely not.
All right, legacy. Michael Jackson embarked on the History World Tour in September 1996, his third and final solo tour, which concluded October 1997. The artist's follow-up to History Book 1, titled Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix, was released in May 1997. It's not good.
It's not good.
And featured remixes from the previous album and 5 new songs, including Ghosts.
It's not good.
It's not good. I agree. It's like really badly produced.
You can't hear him at all.
The album is the best-selling remix album of all time
Oh, okay.
because it's Michael.
Yes.
And where did Michael Jackson go from here? Well, in 1999, he performed a series of concerts under the name MJ and Friends, alongside numerous other performers like Luther Vandross, Boyz II Men, Slash, The Scorpions, Mariah Carey, and Blackstreet. In 2001, he performed an additional 2 shows titled Michael Jackson 30th Anniversary Celebration at New York's Madison Square Garden to commemorate his 30th year as a solo artist. It's basically like Michael's like birthday party.
Yeah.
It's just like he got to perform and all his friends got to perform and like talk about him and celebrate him. The shows featured appearances by Usher, Whitney Houston, Destiny's Child, Monica, Liza Minnelli, and Slash, and Michael performed with his brothers for the first time since 1984.
Hey, we're celebrating my solo career. You guys want to come crash?
Yeah.
Sure.
A month later, he released his 10th and final album, Invincible. It debuted at number 1 in 13 countries and went on to sell 8 million copies worldwide, receiving double platinum certification in the US.
I don't think I've ever heard any songs off of Invincible.
I've heard it once, and the only noteworthy thing I could say about it is he low-key created dubstep.
Oh my gosh.
And we didn't notice.
Freaking Michael.
Like, you go back and look, like, oh my gosh, there's dubstep on this. How did he know?
Why didn't you just go like New York auntie? Oh my gosh, there's dubstep on this.
In 2002, Jackson performed at New York's Apollo Theater at a fundraiser for Democratic National Convention and former President Bill Clinton. That would end up being his final live performance. 2002. The aughts, unfortunately, were characterized by controversy for Michael Jackson. A lot of it. And this was when I was like growing up, so this is unfortunately like the Michael Jackson I knew as a kid.
Yeah.
He became a father of 3, leading to further media scrutiny over his parenting habits. He had a falling out with Sony Music, and he encountered further child abuse charges in 2003, though he was acquitted in 2005. Mm-hmm. In March 2009, Michael Jackson announced a series of comeback concerts titled, do you remember?
History?
This Is It.
Oh, yeah, This Is It.
Planned to begin July of that year. However, on January 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away from cardiac arrest at his home in Los Angeles. He was 50 years old, and that was a crazy day.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was shopping at Kohl's, and my mom called me on my cell phone specifically to tell me Michael Jackson just died. And then I heard it on the intercom in Kohl's. They announced it.
Oh, wow.
On the intercom. Michael, ladies and gentlemen, we have to announce that Michael Jackson has passed away. And I don't know if it was on the in-store radio or someone in the store had to say it.
Yeah.
It was weird.
That is weird.
It was like a national,
yeah, it was.
Thing.
Yeah, it was.
A memorial service was held July 7th, featuring performances by Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Jennifer Hudson, and Shaheen, Jafar Goli? Is that how you say that? And eulogies by Smokey Robinson, Queen Latifah, Al Sharpton, and Michael's family. The service was one of the most watched events in streaming history, with an estimated U.S. audience of 31.1 million and a worldwide audience of an estimated 2.5 to 3 billion.
That's insane.
Where did they get the bandwidth for that? Freaking Peacock got destroyed by FIFA today.
Okay, here's the thing. That's a corporation. If you have fans who know what to do, it's going to happen.
Yeah. A documentary film titled This Is It, comprised of rehearsal footage from the concert series of the same name, released in October of that year. I have seen it. If you want to see Michael's final days, it's there. And surprisingly, he didn't seem to be missing a beat. He's over there dancing and planning, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And since his death, 2 posthumous Michael Jackson albums have been released: 2010's Michael and 2014's Escape.
Okay.
I haven't heard any of those.
Me neither.
As the most awarded music artist in history, with 15 Grammy Awards, a Juno Award, 6 Brit Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and 39 Guinness World Records, Michael Jackson has been dubbed the most successful entertainer of all time.
I mean, he worked for it.
Yeah. He was one of the best-selling music artists of all time, as we've mentioned over and over again, with estimated sales of over 400 million records worldwide. He had 13 Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles, more than any other male artist in that era, and was the first artist to have a top 10 single in the Billboard Hot 100 in 5 different decades. He has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, the Dance Hall of Fame, the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame, and the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame.
Dang. He is a fame.
That is Michael Jackson.
May he rest in peace.
Yes. Whew. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
But we're not done yet.
What?
Because, as we've talked about with music albums,
why do I always forget this is a thing?
Sometimes just as important as the music of an album is the album artwork. So I have here the album artwork for Ayreon, The Final Experiment, and Michael Jackson's History. And we're going to talk about them. So here they are.
I'm tired.
That is for Ayreon, The Final Experiment. Can you describe that for us?
It's Camelot, the castle of Camelot, sitting on the Avalon River with the background being a black and red starry sky, and the sun and or moon is an eyeball.
Looking down on the castle.
And Ayreon, The Final Experiment, is written in Old English lettering on parchment.
I'm surprised you were able to identify that as Castle Camelot on the Avalon River, because I didn't know that. I was just like, why is it an island?
Wow.
I don't know.
You haven't really gone that deep into the thing.
I guess not. Not that stuff.
This is the Gargoyle Castle that was moved to a river.
I was like, it definitely is reminiscent of the lyrics of the album, I guess. It's old-timey and science fiction-y. Mm-hmm. It's not a very good album.
Cover, nope.
It looks like something from a comic book, like a lame comic book that you wouldn't want to read. Or you could scroll over, you could see history.
Yep. And history is a statue of Michael Jackson in an outfit that looks kind of familiar, but I'm not sure where it's from.
It's from his history. He wore that in the History World Tour. It's got like bandoliers along the sides.
Yeah.
Like he's like a war general.
Yes. And then it's an upward shot of this statue from like upper thigh up, and the statue is looking down at us, and in behind them is a sky with a big old cloud that is black and red, and Michael Jackson written in tasteful lettering on the side.
Yeah. So that is a real sculpture. It's a real.
I believe it.
That's a photograph. The album cover depicts a 10-foot sculpture of Jackson in a warrior-like pose, created in 1994 by sculptor Diana Walzak. To promote the history tour, Epic Records placed 10 of these 30-foot replicas in locations around the world, such as London, Berlin, and Prague.
Are they still there?
No, I doubt it.
Oh, that's so weird.
I was like, yeah, man, it was almost like an alternate reality game back then. It's like, we've hidden Michael in 13 locations around the world. Can you find him?
He's 30 feet tall, though, so it shouldn't be too hard.
In 2016, the original statue was installed at the Mandalay Bay Casino in Las Vegas. I don't know if it's still there, but
It's a weird place for it.
might be interesting to go see it. Go to Mandalay Bay. Tell us if the statue is still there. Which album cover's better?
Michael's.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's Ayreon.
Incorrect.
I think they're both pretty bad. Michael's is like,
Nope.
it's creepy. I don't like the statue.
There's a floating eyeball in Ayreon's.
Okay, I guess we're gonna call this one a draw because I think it's the first time we've had a draw in the album art contest.
I think you're right.
Either way, yeah. Let us know. Do you think which album art do you think is better? We'll have a poll on Twitter, maybe on Instagram. Not sure.
No.
Just on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Media Made Show. Yeah. Which album's better? We didn't answer that question.
I'll give it to whatever you say because I think both are like rock opera is not my thing. So it was like as a whole, right? Not just of the songs that we talked about. It was like.
I still think it's Michael. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay. So the thing with Michael is like half of it is all good old stuff, and the other half of it is. So I mean, like, yeah, it's better because you're hearing like things that are tried and true good, but plus the other stuff. But I mean,
Ayreon is better balanced. Mm-hmm. The good stuff is all throughout. Michael's is very offset, but I feel like the highest highs of Michael Jackson's album are better than anything on Ayreon.
That's fair.
And
So let's give it to Michael.
I give it to Michael. I think he's earned it.
He did. We award Michael yet another thing to tack onto his award.
Yeah, put that on the Wikipedia. Media Made Award.
Yeah.
Several Media Made Awards.
He has gotten several Media Made awards.
All right, and I think that's time for runners up now.
Yeah. Okay. So this was a pretty dry year for both of us. So we each only have one runners up, and your runners up, which was unintriguing to you,
Big surprise.
was Dream Theater's A Change in Seasons.
All right, so A Change in Seasons is an EP by Dream Theater. It is 2 halves. The first half is all one song. It's 25 minutes long. It's A Change in Seasons. It is one of their best songs ever. It's excellent. The second half is all covers songs. You know, Journey, Yes, I think is in there, Queen, right? It's a lot of covers. When I collected these albums, I only got Change of Seasons and ignored the covers for a long time. Only recently did I download those covers and add them to my collection. So Ayreon squeezed in a win because I have heard Ayreon, The Final Experiment, from start to finish more often than I've heard A Change in Seasons start to finish as an album.
I'm really glad we didn't do a 25-minute song. I would have quit the show. I love you. I would have quit the show.
But Change of Seasons is a recommend. And hey, this is the first time that Dream Theater has been beat by anything, so that's noteworthy.
That is noteworthy. Okay, for me, my only runner-up was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
It's the one with
because I only know one song from it.
You Ought to Know.
That's not the
Or
one. Ironic.
Ironic.
Yes, that's the only song I know.
You ought to know.
I don't know what you're doing.
That's the song.
Okay.
It's like the best breakup song of all time.
Okay.
You'll know. I'll play it off mic. You'll be like, yes, I've heard that song.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Well, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill is actually a really great album.
Cool.
You're with that. All right. It's time for the end of the show. Plugs.
Oh, yeah. Let's get some hair plugs in here.
You can follow us on the Twitters and the Instagrams at Media Made Show on both those platforms. At Media Made Show. We have things like polls, and we share videos and pictures and other fun things. You can do us a few favors. Tell a friend about the show. If you're a fan of Media Made, tell a friend. Tell 2 friends. Tell them, hey, we got the great podcast, and then tell them to look up an episode that seems interesting to them. Movies, music, TV.
Yeah, we do them all.
You can leave us reviews on your podcast platform of choice. We're on obviously, whatever you're listening on. If it has a way to leave us a review or leave us some stars, do it for us, please. And just keep
if you
listening.
want to follow, yeah. Okay.
Just keep listening. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to follow me personally on Twitter, I'm at Rod the Master, and I have several projects. I write for a video game website called ZeldaDungeon.net. We write about the video game series The Legend of Zelda. I also host a wrestling YouTube show called Keep Kayfabe. That's Kayfabe. We talk about the careers of our favorite professional wrestlers. So if that sounds interesting, you can check that out too. What do you got?
I am on YouTube doing things on YouTube, like telling stories. They're like lies, except with a plot. And I do vlogs occasionally. Right now, I've been doing nothing because life is a lot. So it's a dead channel at the moment, but I plan on bringing things back pretty soon. So if you would like to check me out, Taming Tales on YouTube.
Nice. And with that, we're going to close out the show with the end of Earth Song. I feel like there's no better way to do it. Right?
No.
Just let Earth Song carry us out, feel the power and the emotion. And that's that. So, any parting words?
Kids, the final experiment's in your hands.
It is. Good night.